Hello, listeners. For any of you who are new to our interesting podcast,
if we do say so ourselves,
this is the Genesys Archives, and this is the beginning of the Unseen World campaign. I am your game master, Jonathan Krueyer, and I will also be playing the character of Joan, last name currently unknown to herself. Joan is a magus who is she is a Fey-touched magus.
What is that?
Basically, she lived among the Fey for so long that she started to adopt some of their traits.
Oh.
A bit of a Peter Pan situation there, though not quite to his extent.
What?
Later.
And over in this corner, we have
Nathaniel Lau. I would be playing Rian Windwalker. Rian Windwalker is a Native American monster hunter who has been traveling around the states, going from town to town, fighting and hunting monsters.
And then over here, we have...
I can't actually tell if that's my side or your side
Just
when
go.
he's pointing.
Just
Okay, I'll take it.
Baaron.
All right. It's Baaron? Okay. I thought it was mirrored or something. It was weird. I don't know. I had an interesting, existential crisis where I'm just like, is it actually me he's pointing at? I am Aaron Foley. I will be also known as Baaron most of the time, so you guys don't get confused if they just start calling me Baaron.
Because we're gonna have two Aarons. So this one's Baaron.
So this is Baaron, and I will be playing Cayden Richter, who is a highly experienced bounty hunter / monster hunter. Basically, whether it's man or beast, he hunts it. And he has been at it for a long time. I guess another important point is that he's Texan.
Nice. Gotta get that in there.
Huh?
Are we not revealing the other major thing?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Not yet.
Ooh. Gotta make an entrance.
Heck yes. Secrets, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My name is Caitlin, aka Howie, or How Does One Person, and I will be playing Elianna Sinclair. She's I keep forgetting how to say this. Is it she or Sid? She. SIDHE. Changeling. She's part Fey.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
She.
Celtic.
Celtic pronunciation
Gaelic,
and spelling.
I forget what the language is called, but the Celtic culture, whatever language they spoke.
Gaelic?
Is it Gaelic?
Yeah.
It's Gaelic.
It might be.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it's
Gaelic is a strange language.
It's all, yeah.
Sorry, so continue.
So that's me. Do I say what I look like now, or are we gonna wait?
Well, wait. And so not here yet are Zander Tolley, who is playing Voltaire, not the famous author, or the band. However, his character does consider himself to be the first person with that name. Without revealing too much, he is a satanic hitman.
Heck yes.
Now let us get into the intro here. A chill wind blows through the desert valley. Well, as chill as you can get in this part of the world. The wind blows through the streets, past rows of mass-produced cookie-cutter houses in dull desert tones, past giant billboards with half-naked women, advertising everything from strip shows to law firms, past the bright neon lights of the strip and endless crowds of people moving through the various themed casinos, a tide of flesh and addiction. Many sit on stools, staring blankly at the colorful machines draining their wallets, while others lean over tables, faces anxious as their livelihoods transform into chips that are quickly taken away. Stumbling out of a club not far from the strip, a young man catches sight of the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. Her pale skin shines in the neon lights outside the club, her long, flowing locks shimmering, almost seeming to change color before his eyes. Those same eyes wander across her body, its curves accentuated by a brilliant emerald gown. To his surprise, she waves him over, smiling knowingly as she slips down a darkened street. After a moment of surprise, the man follows eagerly, vanishing with her into the darkness.
Bye. Someone's getting eaten by a fairy or something.
Is that an accurate description of Vegas?
Yes!
Look, Jonathan
Really?
lives
Yes.
in Vegas. If you have a problem with it,
What do you
the
mean?
description you can find.
I've
it.
never-
It is where most of the casinos are. And like all the casinos in the world are in Vegas. This is also a fact.
All of the casinos.
never-
This is fact. Every
Every
casino in
casino
the world.
is in Vegas.
Don't even ignore the ones that are in, Vegas's airport or other places. Ignore the Hard Rock in Orlando and Los Angeles.
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 Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Angeles. Very tired.
Okay, so I will admit that this is a bit of a picked selection of what to look at in Vegas.
It's what most people see or think, to be truly honest.
It's better. This is a better description for storytelling than we got a desert. We got lots of brown and red and orange over here. We got a bunch of houses. The cookie cutter houses is very true. The better neighborhoods are all like the same 3 house designs repeated over and over again. Saying this as someone who lives in one of those cookie cutter neighborhoods. But yeah, so this is all from personal experience.
Oh gosh.
All of these things that I have described are things that exist in Las Vegas.
And so we begin.
Yeah. All right. So setting the scene, we begin in the Solstice, a high-end nightclub not far from the Strip. Here, the clientele does include a lot of humans. It is not entirely of a human clientele, and it is not of human ownership. The Solstice is owned by members of the Sealy Court of Fae, the Fae of summer, of light, of growth. Though, don't let that fool you, they aren't as nice as that description makes them sound. It's well into the night, past midnight by this point. The club is bustling. Changelings, humans, fae, all mingling about. Joan is working at the bar with her job as a bartender, smiling to the patrons as they come, mixing drinks. Where is Elianna right now?
So, what is the atmosphere in this place? Like, are things starting to kick into gear, or are they, cooling down, or are they, pretty level?
They are, I think, at this point, it's kind of, the busiest time of night.
Okay.
It is not cooling down yet, and it has already gone up. It's kind of that time of night.
Okay, cool. I think...
lots of people are out on the dance floor. Lots of people are at the bar. It's very crowded right now.
All right. So she's sitting at the bar, kind of tucked away a little bit. She's not, out there looking to be seen. And she's absent-mindedly stirring a drink around, sort of looking around as if she's looking for some specific people out in the crowd. But she doesn't seem to be seeing them. And she looks tired and bored.
Okay, so while she's sitting there, Joan is in the process of mixing some drinks when she kind of slides over to that part of the bar. So, sounds like looks like you're having an exciting night.
Oh, yes, thrilling.
Looking out for anyone in particular?
I am. I don't think they're going to show up, though, so it's probably going to be a long night.
Well, we've got plenty of drinks here at the bar for you.
I'm probably going to need them. Thank you, Joan.
So she slides back to him, the finished drink over guy. When Joan goes away, a young-looking man comes up to you. He has bright cyan hair. Is that how you pronounce that word?
Cyan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He has bright cyan hair that is very short on the sides and longer up top and like slicked back. And his eyes are the exact same color as his hair. And he like kind of like walks up and leans back on the bar next to Elianna. Like, so, can I have your name?
Is this a person that is of any significance at all?
Not really.
She like looks at him and then looks back at the crowd and she says, "Depends on what you want it for."
Okay, yeah, that'll be all he says. I'm not used to getting into the minds of relatively smooth people.
Same.
Smooth people. Smooth.
Relatively, he's not James Bond, but
Like, I'm so used to playing just these horrendously awkward, just socially inept characters. This
True.
This
It's
campaign
true.
is going to be interesting.
Yes, it is.
this is probably because we are awkward, socially inept individuals.
I don't know about socially inept, but awkward for sure.
Maybe I'm the socially inept.
Do I
one.
fall
do my
in that? Do I
best.
fall into that category? I don't
No,
know if
not
I do.
really.
I'm the weird one. I apologize.
I'm the quiet one.
Yes,
All right.
but that's different.
He offers you a brightly colored drink. He's like, how about a drink?
See, the thing is, was he already holding that? Like, he already had that? Or did he grab one off the bar?
Perception check.
This guy.
Yes.
This guy.
Yes.
Okay. Our perception is 3 green.
You did not see where he got the drink.
Alrighty, well, we're not drinking that. That's for dang sure. Elianna looks down at the drink and she raises an eyebrow and looks up at him and she's like, "Not exactly my style." And she looks back out at the crowd.
He just kind of like smiles good-naturedly and shrugs. Can't blame me for trying. And like wanders back into the crowd.
Nice. Would this be a good time to describe what my character looks like?
Sure.
Okay.
What does she look like as she's staring off into this crowd?
She is a very tall, slender woman with long platinum blonde hair and very bright green eyes. She's dressed very, very elegantly. Like, these clothes are just, at a glance, very expensive.
Is it a dress?
Is she wearing a dress? What is her attire right now?
Yeah, she's wearing like a gray evening dress with a sky blue sheer sort of shawl situation and blue earrings.
Nice.
That is way different from your normal style. I like it.
Yeah.
And so like if you glance at the bar, you see Joan. Joan is not quite as tall as Elianna.
How tall are you, Jonathan?
Joan?
How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
You're 6'5". Elianna is 6 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah, Joan is considerably shorter. She is about 5'5". She has a short, kind of spiky sort of pixie cut. Her hair is bright red.
Yes.
Her eyes are silver, like a metallic sort of silver. Currently, she often wears a leather jacket, but while she's working, she doesn't have that on. She's got her like bright red tank top and her jeans, and you can always see her silver amulet around her neck.
Ooh. What is this? Is there a specific like design to this amulet, or is?
Okay, so the chain that is around her neck is silver, and the amulet itself has a bright red stone, like a ruby, that is wrapped around with silver, almost kind of like roots of a tree wrapping around this stone.
Cool.
And then the roots like coming together at the bottom. In the solstice, Elianna's looking at the crowd, Joan's working, mixing drinks. So while all this is going on, you suddenly hear a scream from outside. It's like a blood-curdling scream.
Oh, well, okay. Are like people going to see what it is?
Yes, there's an immediate like dual floods of people. Like one category of people that are like running away from the scream, and another that are running towards it to see what is causing it.
Elianna lets the crowd get a little bit ahead of her, but she gets up and follows after the crowd that's heading towards the scream.
Okay. Yeah, there's more people heading towards the scream than are running away. Joan like kind of slips out from behind the bar to check it out too. She's curious here. The crowd kind of pushes you outside, and so you see a young man splayed out across the front of like right outside the entrance of the bar. He didn't fall there. It looks like he was dropped. His limbs are all at weird angles, and he is definitely pale. Like I know he's already dead, but like as pale as a human body can really get. Do you want to make a perception check here?
Yes.
Now, you're going to get a black die due to the fact that you are near the back of the crowd.
That's fair. I wasn't looking to run out into the middle of a dangerous situation.
That's not a bad idea. Okay. So you are able to...
Wait a minute. Oh, never mind. I was just going to argue this since she's really tall. Maybe she could see over everybody, but you've already rolled it.
That is a good idea, but it is on the ground.
True.
So while that does give you an advantage over most people, it does not. There's still that limitation.
Gotcha.
But that is a good thing to remember. Since you do see over most people, so you can see that you aren't able to make out much through the crowd, but you are able to make out that this man has a piece of his neck torn out.
Okay, we're going back into the club.
But there is no sign of any blood.
All right. We're going back into the club, and we're calling the car, and we're leaving this place.
All right, and so we're going to cut over now. So Rian, you have been on a hunt. So you are alone in one of the various industrial sectors of the city. Everything is dull gray buildings and fences with barbed wire over the top. And the only source of light are these street lights.
Okay.
That are dim in this area of the city. You are far away from the neon and the flashing signs.
Not my take anyway.
And so there are a lot more shadows. And as you move through this industrial sector, some of those shadows move.
Ooh.
You see these street lights create just these little circles of protection almost, where these things in the darkness move just at the edges of those circles. Not coming close enough for you to see any details, but just barely make out their movements beyond the edge of the light.
Ooh. Okay.
And they are starting to surround you.
How big is this? Is this like an alleyway, a street?
It's kind of an alley.
Okay.
You have jumped over one of those chain link fences and are inside one of the like industrial areas. So you're between buildings, and so you have very little in the way of light.
Right. Can I make a perception check to get a guess as to how many are surrounding me?
That's a good idea. What is your perception?
My perception is... Here we are. 2 and 3.
All right, you will get 2 black die due to darkness.
Fair.
Ooh. Oh, that's interesting.
Interesting.
You failed. With a triumph.
Was the best.
Nice.
And 2 threats.
Right on.
Not very good. But
You have no idea how many there are, but there are a lot of them. You're staring out intently into the darkness, trying to catch each and every movement. So you will get your vigilance check upgraded with a black die, as we are now rolling for initiative.
Straight to it. So my vigilance is usually 1 and 2, but since it's upgraded, it's 2 and 2 now.
Nice. Ooh, that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
The black die did the worst thing the black die can do.
What?
adding a
Which is
bit.
funny, the black die can't actually do much. All right. So it goes our one group of our shadowy friends, then another group of our shadowy friends, then you, then the third group.
How bad did I do?
That bad.
That's pretty darn bad, man.
It's not great.
It's that again. That black die did that one thing.
I believe in you,
What
though.
did I get on that black die?
Fine.
Failure.
A failure and a threat. So you had no failure. You had no successes because you had one success before.
Wow.
But you still go before one of the groups. All right. So
Ain't that
as you're looking out into this darkness, do you have your? You didn't mention having your weapons drawn, but I did say you were watching and ready. So I will give you an out here. Usually, you're going to have to remember to say that you have those out.
Oh,
Unless you have quick draw, in which case it
I have
doesn't
quick
matter.
draw.
Oh, cool.
I
Is
have
it
quick
relevant?
draw and quick draw for cruise.
It's extra relevant.
Nice. Speedy boy.
Okay. So, like, you're staring out in the darkness, and then suddenly, three of these creatures leap out from behind you.
Oh, fun.
Sneak attack.
Do you have any defense?
No, I have 0 defense.
You have 0 defense. This is going to be fun. That is painful.
Fun.
Okay.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
All right. So one of them leaps onto you and clamps its teeth onto you.
Oh, fun.
It is exactly where will be determined by that crit.
Already? Gosh.
All right.
Bad start.
Bad start, you think?
I think it's thrilling.
And so
It's not
it
thrilling
is-
if one character dies in the first session before
I'd
the
call
first
that
hour.
pretty thrilling.
That's called ridiculous. How much time did it take to prepare this character, man?
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
All right. So it is going to deal a total of 8 damage, but you have soak. So
Luckily, that's 3 soaks. I only took 5.
and then it is going to use its
Near half my threshold already. Gosh.
2 of its advantages.
Oh my. Low.
Crit,
Please be low.
and it is 3.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, all right. So it clamps its teeth down on your shoulder, and you are compromised.
Okay, well, let's
Increase. So that is an average difficulty. That is going to increase the difficulty of all skill checks you make by 1.
Oh no.
That is brutal.
Critical injury is healed.
Oh
That
no.
is brutal.
Dang. All skill checks by 1. Wonderful. Wonderful.
All right, next group.
Hi, Joe.
You're a monster hunter. You gotta be ready to fight some monsters.
I know, but I was gonna say flip a story point for this one.
Well, I haven't looked at the results yet.
So yes, I would like to flip that story point.
All right, a
Goodness.
little harder on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. They got a spare, but they succeeded still.
Oh.
Well, at least they
So
got
you're
this-
going to take another 8 damage
-3 for soak. That's 5.
as they will ignore 2 soak. As the second group leaps out of the shadows in front of you, and their massive machete-length talons slash across your chest.
They have pierce 2, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So that's 1 soak. So that's 7.
Yep.
That puts me at my threshold. Am I
Run away.
Yep.
Is it my turn?
Yes, and so now you can. Well, they had a despair.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means that you can hurt them in a way.
In a way.
Yeah. So let's see. What should we have this despair do to them?
Hey!
Just in time to see someone die.
Come in. Rian is at his
Sorry,
wound
I was
threshold.
already knocking on wood as I said it.
He's at whose wound threshold.
I'm trying to figure out what I can do.
Shoot him in the head.
There are lots of them.
You could possibly use the momentum of these attacks against them.
Okay.
For example, you currently have one clamped onto your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You could maybe fling that one.
That
the ones in
was
front of you?
actually kind of what I was thinking of doing. We're gonna do that.
All
I
right.
think that would be a good idea.
You're gonna have to make an athletics check though.
Fair enough. My athletics is 1 and 2.
1, 2.
So far we've hit all the skills that have at least 1 ranking.
All right. So this slashes you. All right. So you now have, since you see them from the front and they ran into the light, you see. So they look almost human-shaped. Almost.
Almost.
Their limbs are jointed in the wrong places, and they move on all 4s, and their bodies drip like they are made of living tar.
No, please.
Oh.
And instead of fingers, they just have these machete-length claws. Their heads there's no face. There's only a massive fang-filled maw. Their entire head, where you would assume the eyes, nose, and everything else would go, is occupied entirely by a massive maw, filled with shark-like rows of massive fangs.
Well, let's make some sort of knowledge check to know what these things are.
You could.
If they weren't currently trying to gnaw your arm.
You're a bit distracted. Success. All right, so you're able to fling the one currently attached to your shoulder into the one that just slashed you with its talons,
Nice.
knocking it aside. And now it is your turn.
Now it is my turn. Quick draw and quick draw improved. I'm drawing both my guns out. And then I'm going to use my heroic ability at this point.
Okay.
Final resort. It's the unleash with the supreme effect.
Nice.
When I activate this ability, my character may immediately defeat all minions within short range. And this is as an incidental because I also have improved. So that's 2 story points, right?
Yep.
Oi, because I don't have story yet.
Yeah.
All right. So you pull out both of your pistols and just lay down fire.
Let's go. I ain't messing around today, fellas.
Your bullets slice, cut through these things, and they shriek like the most horrendous shriek.
Oh.
Like if you were to take a baby's wail, the sound of nails on chalkboard, and
The cries of the damsels.
That sounds right.
Hey.
Yeah, that sounds right.
because there are a lot of horrific screams going to be in this campaign.
We need the specific flavor of horrific scream.
We'll very likely encounter the damsels of hell later on.
So we've got
Gotta save
we've got
them.
a combination of a baby's wail.
Yeah, the
Nails on
sound
the
of nails on
chalkboard.
chalkboard,
What else?
and the sensation of sand, of incredibly rough sandpaper against your face.
Ew.
All that in that sound.
Lovely.
Nice. Nice.
That's good stuff.
Thank you for making this for us, Jonathan.
Dang,
I love it.
that's ouch. So, did I just kill all these guys, or is there any still alive?
All of the ones that were inside short range.
How many were inside short range?
The 2 groups that attacked you. There's a third group.
You gotta be kidding me.
The third group was in medium range. Oh no.
Bye.
Wait, I still have an action. Can I shoot at their general? Shoot at them.
Yes, you can.
All right, combined check for this one since I'm dual wielding. So I do have the dual wielder talent.
What does that do?
Your character may use this talent to decrease the difficulty of the next combined combat check.
Nice.
And then normally, not that talent will not be.
Okay, what's your range light skill?
Range light is 2 and 3.
I'm gonna flip a story point.
Flip it back.
Okay.
Back.
Okay. Bonds with
All right.
powers.
You can't make them out. Their tar black form is too perfect for hiding in those shadows.
Oh boy.
All right.
At least I took out 2 of the groups.
So right around this time, Cayden, you had heard stories of people vanishing in the industrial sections of the city, and you decided to investigate, as we talked about before.
Mhm.
So as you are investigating this area, you hear this inhuman scream. This baby's wail, nails on chalkboard, sandpaper on face scream. What do you do? It's right around.
It's right around the corner. Oh, he's going right for it.
All right, so you run around the corner and you see a.
Technically, he can't see.
Sorry, I forgot. You're in blind mode right now, right?
Yeah, we'll have to make a perception check to gauge what's happening. He'll do that. Like, he's gonna, as soon as he gets into the alleyway he heard, he's gonna make a check to gauge what's happening, like what he can see.
To be
All right.
clear, Cayden is blind.
Yeah, I did forget to mention that one, I guess.
All right, so you're making a perception check. What's a perception?
It is 3 and 4 with 2 blue die. Uncanny senses.
Okay, so you so with your echolocation. So how do you specifically do it? Do you click your tongue? Do you tap your cane?
The way it works, and the best way to do it, a cane is insufficient in creating the right kinds of pitches, but humans' vocal cords can actually create different styles of pitches, and different high frequencies can go farther, and some can stay up shorter. So you can detect things that are farther away, but it's not as clear if you use certain pitches. So he's using a type of click. Kind of, but it's much more sharp, but also quiet. Like, it's very hard to tell exactly how it sounds.
Okay. So clicking your tongue, you're able to tell that there is a person surrounded by non-human, not right bodies, and that in the shadows beyond him, you can see, quote unquote, see 3 more of these creatures crouching there.
So this is disregarding the group that he currently tried to shoot at.
This is the group he is trying to shoot
okay.
at.
There is him, and he's being attacked by them, and specifically there's like 3 of them. Figured that out?
Yeah, those are at medium range. They're in the darkness, he can't see them, but since you're blind, that doesn't matter.
Wait, does that mean, like, if I was to shoot at them, I don't get disadvantages from darkness? Because I already technically made the check to see them?
Yes and no.
Okay.
You always have the disadvantages of darkness.
Fair enough. That's why he has to aim. That's why I stipulated he probably have to aim. He has quick draw, but he'll move into short range, and he'll be using his heavy pistol.
What range is your character at right now?
Medium. Of them and you. Because
Because
it's
they're-
medium.
And they're closing and stuff, yeah.
Kind of a triangle.
Okay.
You're all at different points of the triangle right now.
He's moving into short,
There's
and
no collateral triangle.
he'll use quick draw to pull out his heavy pistol, which is very cleverly concealed in his back, and he will shoot at the 3 that are currently attacking the other guy.
All right. What is your range like?
2 ranks, but he has precision, so he'll have, using his cunning, so 4. So it'll be 2 yellow and 2 green.
Nice.
Very nice.
And we'll have the other maneuver he had to aim, which
All right. Take your strain.
That's what I should have done. Oh,
And I'm flipping a story point.
I will flip one back.
that's a lot of dice.
Which is, isn't it?
No. yourself get ranks and dodge.
Amen. That's my next goal.
All right. So these things, despite having no visible ears, they hear you coming, and as you shoot at them, they dodge out of the way. You miss.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing that they no longer have the huge advantage of numbers, these creatures flee.
Okay.
They run over to the nearby storm drain and dive inside.
In order for him to have seen that, he'll have to continually, he'll have to continually make clicks to kind of, but he could hear the pattering of their feet probably as they run.
Yeah, you can hear the pattering of their feet as they go.
But to see the storm drain, he probably that's where they went. He'd probably have to be clicking as well.
Okay, so you hear them run off and then disappear.
Okay.
Then you probably hear my character get down on one knee from his injuries.
Yeah, Rian, you currently are bleeding heavily from one shoulder, as there's a massive bite wound there that is festering already.
Oh.
And you have 3 long gashes across your chest.
And of course, the final resort didn't quite help with the pain.
No. So after that's over, Cayden slowly makes his way over, cane forward, face forward. And I'll take this time to describe what he looks like. So Rian, looking over at his savior, in walks into the light with cane forward. You can hear the kind of like tip taps of it. In walks in a 6-foot-tall, moderately finely dressed man. His clothes are not expensive, but definitely well kept. And they involve a nice, darkened, more black coat with a maroon button-up shirt tucked into very dark tan khaki pants that go down to very dark boots that are tucked underneath the pants. And in his face, you see a very square jaw that's surrounded by a very nicely trimmed blonde goatee.
Ooh.
And as you look further up, you meet to where usually his eyes, but instead are very kind of thick, heavily darkened goggles of a type, basically.
Goggles.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And past that, you can see some of his blonde hair kind of coming out the back of his black cowboy hat as well.
Yes.
The cane itself is wooden and kind of thins down to the end to a point. And on the actual head of the cane, if you see it when he stops, you'll see what looks like a metallic ornament that is the figure of a wolf's head.
What does Rian look like?
So Rian is a Shawnee Native American. He's wearing some really dark tan pants, also probably a bit of a darker colored button-up long sleeve shirt, and he wears a bit of a dark tan hunting shawl. And see, he has black hair with a 6-inch braided ponytail that goes down his back, and he is also wearing a brown cowboy hat as well.
Yes. Stetsons for
And Rian
everyone.
looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 cowboys.
We're out in the West, people. And as he walks towards this figure, he's going to make a perception check on the person. This involves not just clicking, it involves smell as well as clicking.
Hear a lot of heavy sighs.
There's going to be a lot of perception checks overall.
You get a real good quote-unquote look at him.
Wait a minute. Is that you, Rian? I reckon I had to smell that shawl anywhere. You still haven't cleaned it.
Nice to see you too, Cayden.
What are you...
How you been?
I think we need to deal with how you've been first. Then we'll get to how I've been doing.
Probably not a bad idea.
What were you doing down here?
I was on a hunt. I was walking around, Came over here. Next thing I knew, I was surrounded by whatever the heck these creatures were. As he kind of nudges the head of one with one of his pistols.
All right, the bodies didn't like disintegrate or anything, right?
So now that you're looking at them, you can see that the sludge is starting to like melt away, and there's nothing under the sludge. Slowly melting into nothing. Yeah, they're still mostly intact. Like when you like poked its head with your pistol, like the tip of your pistol kind of went into the muck, but it like moved the head.
Okay. Can my character make a knowledge supernatural check?
Yes.
Probably
That's
better
2
than
and 2.
And you are not a local, correct?
Not as what we defined when we talked about it. So no.
Yeah, you have visited this place before
Is there,
at various points.
I don't suppose I could assist him with this check, could I?
You could.
All right. I have 1 rank in supernatural.
But I have 2. I have 2 and 2.
Mine's 1 and 3, so
We could use your intellect then, I guess.
Fine.
Yeah.
You have 3 intellect?
yeah.
Then yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I have 3 and 1.
So is there any interaction going on here, or are you psychically helping each other?
So my character at this point, he's kneeling down and like reaching out to kind of gauge more or less where he heard the sound of the as it went in, the pistol went in, to kind of feel around while also just kind of getting a good whiff. He's to try to understand what this thing is.
Okay.
So my character gets just...
And he'll ask what they look like. He'll ask like what they actually look like.
Yeah, my character's got to disregard what they look like.
Okay. That's good. First things first, they smell like an outhouse from hell.
So,
like, not in terms of just how bad it is, like, specifically, they smell like a mix of brimstone and cow dung.
lovely. That's gonna get a very
But not super strongly of it. Like, not so much that, like, you get close and are immediately like, oh,
Okay.
but like, as you with your enhanced senses of smell, like, you get that strong.
Yeah, I get the full brunt of it. And his reaction was like, whoo! Ooh! Ooh, that ain't good. All right.
So you guys are able to figure out. So these are a particular type of demon that has not been seen anywhere other than Vegas. They're colloquially. Okay, I will try that word later.
Colloquially.
The word that I was trying to say means commonly.
Yeah.
They're commonly known as drain demons because they come from the depths of the storm drains, a system of tunnels that crisscross beneath the city. Their primary purpose is to wash away rainwater that comes because whenever it rains in Vegas, it floods. And it would flood much worse if it weren't for the giant series of tunnels beneath the city to direct it away. However, the drains are home to a lot more than just stray rainwater. And these drain demons are among those locals.
I'm getting very strong it vibes.
What vibes?
We all float down here.
We all float down here.
All right, so do either of you have any medicinical skills?
No, not skills. No. That's a fun question. What Cayden's gonna do is like...
Or medicinal. Medicinical is not correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
Medicinal skills.
I don't know, I like medicinical a little bit better.
Well, Rian, we are not in the condition to go deal with these drain demons. What is it? You especially are not in the condition to do that. So, look, here. He, reaches into his bag and offers painkillers in the general direction of Rian. He made an assumption.
Say Rian holsters both his guns and then he takes the painkillers. He's shaking a lot though, so he takes them and. All
right, so you'll heal 5 wounds immediately, but if the actual injuries are not healed within 2 hours, you'll get all those wounds back. That's how painkillers work. This is the real world now. No magic.
So
Yeah, you're not using health potions anymore.
Yep.
You're using real life painkillers.
And also, we're not using, science fiction medicine, with stim packs or anything like that. No. So,
No,
and I still have a critical injury too.
No, this
well,
is
he
the
can't
real
deal with
world.
that. So, like,
We gotta get to the doctors.
yeah, which is literally what he's about to say. He's just like, we ain't ready for this. All right. You can tell me how you got here anyway. As he's like, kind of like, he like turns around and starts walking out the alley, expecting him to follow.
Right. Well, yeah. No bad idea. My truck is just nearby. We can take that there.
Are you in driving condition?
Thanks to these painkillers, I think I can manage.
All right. And he's already like turned around and started walking out the alley, expecting him to follow.
thanks to these painkillers. Hopped up on painkillers is still not a good driving.
Nope.
Still better than blind.
Yep. Amen to that.
Fair enough, I guess.
Are you in driving condition? A little bit more than you.
Pretty much.
All right, so right then is when Cayden gets a call.
Okay.
Is it a vibrating cell phone or a ring cell
No,
phone?
it's a vibration. His phone's connected to a Bluetooth that he can like move up into his ear.
Nice.
Howdy there. Who is it?
Hello, Cayden. It's Randy.
Oh, hi, Randy. It's been a while.
Yes. Well, since I was just checking up on things in Vegas, since I knew you were there, there's been an interesting incident that I think you should know about.
Well, I got something interesting here. How interesting is yours?
Well, there's been a unique murder. Apparently, a body was dropped off in front of a ferry-owned club. This body was completely drained of all its blood.
Go on.
That's all the information I have right now. The police haven't arrived on the scene yet. Thought it would be good to get you this information as soon as possible.
Where is it? This nightclub. Is it on the strip?
You do realize that not every nightclub in the city is on the strip, correct?
Hey, I ain't no local.
No, it's not far from the strip, but it's not on the strip. I'll send the location to your phone.
Thank you. I'll definitely make sure to take a look. Thank you, Randy.
Good hunting.
I love this.
He's gonna check, like, using Siri. Hey, Siri.
Okay.
Could you look up this place for me? How far away is it from where they currently are?
It is a 30-minute drive. Because everything in Vegas is a 30-minute drive.
Does that mean the hospital's a 30-minute drive?
Yes.
Is the hospital on the way there?
No, I'm joking. The hospital's a little closer.
Okay.
A little bit closer.
It's a big city.
I just looked up a map of it. It's massive.
Vegas is huge.
We have 2 million people, dude.
Big city.
Insane.
And there's all the tunnels below, too. So they get in the truck, and Cayden kind of, he doesn't turn to Rian. He just speaks this openly, but it's directed towards Rian. All right, Rian. I know you're kind of worse for wears, but we might have a more interesting hunt ahead of us.
What kind of hunt we talking about?
The kind that involves fairies and possibly vampires.
All right, which way are we going?
Sure you don't want to go to the hospital first? That's your choice. You're driving.
I think I can handle just a little longer before the hospital.
You're gonna at least like.
I know.
yourself up.
Cayden's literally about to say that. Cayden's like,
Okay, yeah, I suppose I could do that.
Let me just
Got
say
it.
it's not exactly normal
Sorry.
to walk around
I'm
with
too used-
gaping, festering wounds.
Sorry, I
At the very
apologize.
least, bandage yourself to stop the bleeding.
I apologize. I'm too used to we take a hit, we just keep going.
it's true. It's
You're gonna
very
have to
true.
get used to another way of being.
We are currently in the semi-real world.
Right.
Welcome to Earth.
Hey, allow me to switch between like complete fantasy to logistical real world fantasy.
It is true. You jumped him right in with these drain demons, so he was in fantasy mode. Now it's like, okay, gotta switch back to real world.
Okay, time to go to the hospital. Hope I have insurance.
Let's revise this conversation.
Well,
Or maybe, I don't know.
well, you do have 3 intellect, so you can try to perform a medicine check.
Sure, we
You
can
can.
at least try to bandage me up. But it's going to be 3 green, that's it.
Do you have anything to bandage yourself with?
I got a few bandages in the truck.
Do you?
Do you?
And actually, no. I don't. I got nothing. All I have is
So, you could flip a story point to say that you have those bandages in the trunk.
better safe than sorry. Why not?
You have bandages in your truck. How useful.
Cayden's like, I can't really take that good of a look at you, but you smell like you're bleeding. You probably need to take care of that.
He just looks at himself. Right. Give me a minute.
You stab yourself in the arm.
With bandages.
Horribly.
You don't stab yourself in the arm, but you do mess up the bandages pretty bad on your first try. You're going to have to completely undo them and try it again.
Nice.
Gosh. So you see, like, it's a bit awkward when he first does it. Like the bandages, like, get all clumped in the wrong places.
This goes. He can just hear him like going at it, and then like you hear like a slight sigh of frustration. Having trouble there, son?
Okay, well, would you be willing to give me a hand with these, please, Cayden?
Cayden gets an amused smile, and he just kind of raises his hands, and is just like, "Put your arm here, I guess."
Well, you can feel, like, where the wounds are.
He's mainly joking a little bit. He'll take some time, but he can assist. But he doesn't have any ranks. It literally would have had blue die, probably.
You add a blue die and eliminate the 2 black die that you get automatically for trying to do medicine checks on yourself.
Oh.
All right.
You are able to heal 2 wounds, and you're no longer bleeding profusely.
Fun. Now, what about those wounds healed from the painkillers? Will those come back eventually?
In 2 hours.
3 wounds will eventually come back
3 wounds will eventually come back.
because 2 of them were.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Cayden.
If you take them off like that, then 5 wounds will eventually come back.
So, the drive to the scene is going to be a half hour, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Probably afterwards we'll go to the hospital if nothing else comes up.
All right. It's kind of on the other side of the city. All right, so you start driving. Now, we're going to go back a little further to a week earlier.
Oh, hey.
As Voltaire is escorted by a very large man whose skin is just little, like, he looks like his face is really flush, like that kind of red, but it's always that red. Do you want to do a perception check here?
I would love to.
What is your perception?
2 cunning.
Okay, you can't see the other thing then.
I can't see the other thing.
Very big man with skin that's a little too red and a suit that looks uncomfortable, but you can't tell why.
Interesting.
Is leading you up to the penthouse office in the Wynn Casino.
Have you always been such a red color all over your head?
He looks. How tall are you?
About 6'3".
He looks down at you and.
Allow me to revise that question. Have you always been as massive as you are? I mean, goodness, I could recommend a tailor. You look very uncomfortable.
He grunts.
I will leave you the number of my tailor.
And then so this is happening in the elevator. The elevator door opens and waves you in.
Don't trouble yourself. I think I can find my way from here.
All right, so you enter this massive office. You see there is very extravagant artwork covering the walls, all of it of a biblical nature. It has lots of devil and angel imagery on shelves. you see various arcane-looking items. In the center of the office is a massive desk, behind which is a large black velvet chair that is currently facing away from you, looking out into the giant window looking out onto the strip.
He's just looking around as he's walking towards the chair. Have I ever mentioned how charming I find your office?
As amusing as ever, Voltaire.
I do try.
And so the chair turns around, and you see a tall man, a little bit taller than you, broadly built but not nearly as massive as the thug from earlier, in a designer black suit with the widest tie you have ever seen. He is very, very square jaw with a reddish-brownish beard and close-cut hair. His eyes are pitch black all the way through. And as his chair moves, his shadow moves to face you away from the source of the light. I guess towards the light. Shadows normally go away from the light. Like the shadow his shadow turns the opposite of the way it's supposed to go, to almost like it's looking at you. This is, of course, Nikolai Zatlos, the leader of your order here in Las Vegas, the Order of Saint Lucifer.
Nikolai, you must tell me what you do with your ties. As much as I do try, I can never get a white tie to stay white. Or at least as brilliantly white as yours. You must tell me your secret.
Oh, you know I never give my secrets away so easily.
I've been trying to get that for over 50 years.
Now, Voltaire, do you know why I called you all the way here from Paris?
No, not really. I mean, I was loath to leave.
Rest assured that it was for a very good reason. You see, he leans back in his chair and kind of turns back to look out on the strip, though his shadow is still looking at you.
I just give a slight turn of the head to it.
It does the same thing.
Yeah.
You see, this is our city. We built it, but for too long the other factions have sought to weasel their way into our city, into my city. They've been polite the last few decades, but most recently there's been some troubling movements among the other factions, moving into territory where they do not belong. I need someone more skilled than those who are here already. Someone from outside who isn't already distracted by the city. I need you to investigate the activities of the other factions here. And any issues that you uncover, you are to deal with them permanently.
I can understand why you called me back. I am very skilled, thank you. I will do my
You
best.
smile, you can't see his face, but you can tell from the way his cheek twitches from the corner that makes him smile.
Yes. And I will do my best to remind the other factions who in fact is in charge of the city.
Good. Fast forward. So you, while you're doing your investigations, you also learn of this most recent murder as a victim drained of all its blood with distinctive bite marks in its throat is dropped right outside a ferry bar. So now, heading back to the solstice with Elianna and Joan.
Elianna went back into the club and she immediately calls a car. she's leaving. This is not. And she advises Joan is Joan staying outside?
Joan never made it outside. She was even behind you, and she is not your height. Basically, she ended up just asking you. So, like, when you saw what it was, she's like, so what can you see?
It's a body with a great bite in its neck. Let's go back inside.
Sounds like a good idea.
I would advise that you lock the door. Or at least the back door.
I'm not really allowed to lock the front door, but...
No, I would imagine not. And the police are probably going to want to come in here once they get here.
That's gonna be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, yeah. I'll see about that back door.
I'm gonna call a car, because I don't want to stay here. Do you need a ride, or do you have to stay here?
Well, my shift's not up yet, so...
Alrighty. Well, better get to that door then.
So, before you can leave, the police arrive,
Okay.
and they lock the place down
Nice.
to question all the witnesses.
Great.
And so they haven't reached you yet, so there's, so they've kind of like cordoned off the area, have their cars blocking the streets. They've kind of gotten people to sit down in various places and starting to get people's statements. Cayden and Rian show up right as they see the cops starting to cordon off the area.
Well, looks like the cops beat us to it, Cayden.
Wow. Faster than normal. Okay.
Took you 30 minutes to get there.
Fair.
After a bunch, like, bandaging and then taking that apart and then rebandaging.
Yeah, but I assume that there would actually be, you know, like, cops relatively close by if they're, like, the strip, you know, in case things happen. So, like, if they had just arrived. Actually, so I said it wrong. It's like, oh, that took them a bit then. Do you know the cops in this city, Rian?
Afraid not. I've only been here a short while.
Looks like we ain't gonna get close for a bit.
Nope.
Make vigilance checks.
Oh,
Vigilance checks.
I have...
Not every vigilance check is initiative.
Okay, but you do know it's still upgraded once for me. One yellow and green. And then we have upgraded difficulty.
Alright, so there's lots of neon lights here, but it is still night.
Black dice.
Black die. There's one. Alright, what's your vigilance?
2 yellows and 2 blue die. Thank you,
Better than
Uncanny
me.
Senses.
You failed with a triumph and 2 advantages.
I'm failing triumphantly.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Do you
So
want to use that to help him, or do you want something separate that I could do?
Let's do it to help him.
You sure?
Why? What could I do separately?
Not telling you.
it's a secret.
Let's see. What goes against your check when you're rolling? Yeah, you said you had 2 yellow and 2 blue. Does he have any difficulty dice for that or no?
There is a difficulty. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah. Let's say save it for something separately for me then. You probably
Okay.
have better luck than I have.
So success, Cayden, you hear as someone slips past the cops. It's weird though. This person's heart is beating fast, but their steps are even, and they seem to just walk right past the cops, as if the cops didn't notice them.
Rian, did you see anyone walk past those cops?
No, you didn't.
Afraid not. Wow, what do your senses tell you?
Someone just walked past, but as if the cops were like nothing.
Think we should go in?
Can you just phase through cops? This might take a little bit, but we could try.
So this is someone leaving the bar.
Leaving the bar?
Mhm.
Okay.
Or the club, I guess.
All right. Could I make a perception check to see which direction they're currently going? Because I heard them like go through the cops, but like if I wanted to follow up. So 3 and 4, 2 blue die.
You know exactly where this person's going, and as luck would have it, He is going to walk right past your truck.
On which side of the truck?
Your side.
He opens
Passenger
the
side.
door.
Right for this person to walk into?
It's a slow opening.
Okay, they walk around the door, like they're just going to keep going.
You know, it's rude to walk past people without saying hi.
They stop, like, dead in their tracks. Rian, like, when you're looking in that direction, you're finding it hard to focus. Like, your eyes just kind of keep wandering off. There's actually a person there. They're not invisible.
Okay.
Just your eyes don't want to look at them. They're not invisible so much as unnoticeable.
Huh.
Or at least they were until they were directly called out. And so this guy like turns and looks at you guys. What?
Oh, there you are. Can Rian like actually like see what he looks like? Just curious.
Is he distinguishable?
Yes.
I was going to use it for something else, but do you want to have your triumph here?
Sure.
Okay. So as you try to focus on him, you're able to break through not only the specific unnoticeability charm, you're able to look through his general glamour. You see that this person has a pair of goat-like horns coming off his head, and that his eyes are a bright, almost glowing green.
Ooh, that's cool.
Besides that, he kind of looks like a bit of a hippie. He's got like a little bit of a scraggly beard. His hair's frizzy. Looks like and his shirt has like a peace sign, like a tie. He's got like a tie-dyed shirt with a peace sign on it. Whoa! How did you just? How?
Some people.
That's not supposed to happen.
Some people don't see with their eyes, partner. Now, what I was referring to was that, it's genuinely polite to, at least acknowledge another person on the road, a nice nod, a tip of the hat. But since I have your attention, hi, how are you?
Wanting to get out of here.
Well, I can clearly see that. Is there any particular reason why?
Freaking vampire murder going on. I don't want any part of that. I was just here to have some drinks. I was not ready for murder, okay?
That's very fair. So you say it was a vampire? Did you see this?
No, it's just faint. Like this person had their throat practically torn out. It was drained of blood.
I see. But you didn't see anything, just the body?
No, there was someone screamed from outside, and I ran with everybody else to see what was going on, and there's a body there, and I got kind of all caught up in the stuff, and then before I knew it, cops were here, and I do not want to get involved with those guys. I've got I think it would just be better if I left.
Like Cayden just kind of like nods to himself. He also hasn't been directly looking at the person really. It's just kind of like towards the side a little bit. Shoot, what was I going to say? Does it seem like he's generally telling the truth?
Make a perception check.
3 and 4 with 2 blue die.
You think he's lying about not seeing anything?
I think he's lying? Okay.
Like when he said that, like he didn't see anything and he just went out with the crowd, like with everyone else in the crowd. Something off there.
What specifically gives it away? Is it the way he says it, or like can he hear that his heart beats beating faster or something? Like what is it?
Yeah, when he says the bit about that, like when you ask, like, did you see anything? Like his heartbeat rose dramatically right then.
So do you know what the vampire looks like? Or maybe the attacker, sure.
I told you I didn't see anything.
I'm not so sure about that.
Look, hey, he starts like backing off. He's like, look, I'm just gonna get out of here.
What's Rian doing in all of this?
He is listening to the conversation and is also now putting his truck in reverse. But he still has his foot on the brakes.
Okay. All right.
You don't do anything more.
Cayden was gonna try, but there was gonna be a moment, like a breath, before he was gonna say something else. So.
Okay, so he's backing up.
Mm-hmm. So Cayden's like, "Okay, look here, fella. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here to figure out what happened, and I'm here to figure out how to stop it. You know, so you can keep on drinking as you wanted. This is a very reputable establishment, and it's such a shame for it to be tarnished like this."
You want to make a charm check?
That's a good question.
You're trying to convince him.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, sure. It's 2 green die. I haven't put anything in check.
Charm check, or as I like to think about it, a convince check.
Yep.
I don't know if I could help with that. Mine's only 2 green, too.
And you didn't contribute anything to that conversation, so sorry.
He put his truck in reverse.
It's
okay.
true. It's not very convincing. That's kind of intimidating.
So he's like, yeah, no, I think I'm, and then he runs.
Rian just goes over. Think we should follow him?
Nah. If he was someone who saw something, I'm actually pretty sure someone else did too.
Yeah, Rian puts the truck back in park and...
Anyway, we gotta find a way to get inside this nightclub or past the cops at least.
No, I think you might have some better luck than me with that, given how I'm a bit on the injured side.
So you could make a streetwise check here.
Streetwise?
I have 4 cunning. Isn't that streetwise? Streetwise is cunning?
Yeah.
That's better than me. I've only got 3.
Okay. It's nice not having any ranks and skills.
It's unusual is what it is.
All right. You know that these sort of places always have a back entrance.
Okay. That's a good guess. That's a good, nice streetwise thing. Okay. Yep. Let's see if we can get in around back.
All right. Let's go look for a back entrance. Rian gets out of the truck.
Voltaire, you show up, and
There's cherries and berries flashing everywhere.
Lovely description.
Police.
This is rather uncomfortable. No, might as well see what our local tax dollars are doing.
Okay, are you just going to talk to any, or are you looking specifically for someone who looks like they're in charge?
I'm looking for like medium of that scale.
Somewhere in the middle.
First, make knowledge supernatural with 2 black die.
Okay, I've got 2 and 3.
Okay. You know, various higher ups in the police department are on the order's payroll.
Okay.
And you have a ring that has the symbol of the order on it. So if the officer in charge is on the order's payroll, subtly showing him the ring will be enough to.
Okay.
If they are, you don't know whether or not the specific individual in charge here is on the order's payroll.
Okay. In that case, with me suddenly remembering that my organization owns
Half the city.
half the city.
They are the reason Vegas exists. They call it their city. They say they own it. They do not own the whole city, as evidenced by the fact that there is a fairy nightclub.
Okay. Suddenly remembering this. Yes, I'm looking for somebody straight up brass.
All right, perception check.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I have 2 cunning.
You aren't able to find anyone who looks like.
Who looks like they're in charge?
Yeah, you're just a mess of cops.
Can I just find somebody who moderately looks like they have some semblance of an idea of what they're doing?
Yeah, the cops are doing a pretty decent job. You just don't see anyone like directing the
You could ask one of them to speak to their supervisor, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I'm.
Yeah.
He's just going to walk up to the nearest person and he's just going to be like, excuse me, I'm looking for the officer in charge here.
Hey, get back behind the line, sir.
My dear man, I have been sent by my employers, the people who are in charge of this fine establishment here, and they have asked me to talk to the officer in charge to make sure everything is being handled with the utmost discretion.
All right, deception check.
I love it.
Yes.
I love the lying.
Just straight up lying. I love it.
Cunning. Why am I doing everything that involves cunning?
It's true. Maybe this time it'll work.
You want to flip the story points.
I would love to flip a story point.
Flip it back.
I would love to flip a story point.
Actually, flip 2 back.
Ooh.
Wow.
These are some stubborn cops.
They don't want you in here.
Yep.
Why couldn't it have been a charm check? I'm trying to convince you.
You lied.
You lied.
So, deception is when you're trying to
Lie.
deceive, whether it's through lies, half-truth, or other...
Or omissions of
Or,
self-truth.
yeah.
Well,
So
this is
anytime you're
kind of
trying-
half truth, so yeah.
So anytime you're trying to deceive someone, it's a deception check. Anytime you are trying to get something in exchange for something else, that's a negotiation check.
Fair enough.
Anytime you are trying to interact with someone that you have authority over, that's a leadership check. Am I missing any before I get into charm?
Coercion.
Coercion. Anytime you're trying to scare someone into something is coercion. Charm is anytime you are trying to get someone to do something without them gaining anything in return.
Huh.
Or you trying to deceive them.
Okay, so
But yeah,
It's good for all of us.
deception.
he gives you a look like you can tell he is not buying your bullcrap. And
At this,
like I said, step behind the line, sir.
the fine tax dollars of the people of Las Vegas at work. As you were.
Does he actually pat him on the shoulder?
He's staring at you like with his eyes. He's saying with his eyes like you're not behind the line yet.
As he pats him on the shoulder, he just looks him straight in the eyes with ice blue eyes, despite the fact that he has jet black hair, as if to say, I know.
Oh, dang.
What does Voltaire look like?
Let's take this time to describe Voltaire.
Oh, what does Voltaire look like? He very much looks like he could own every inch of this nightclub.
Yes.
Right now, he's dressed to the nines. He's wearing a red velvet tuxedo jacket. He's got this so dark of a red, it almost looks black, but if you see it in the right light, you can just see that it's just the darkest of reds. He is wearing shoes that look like shoes that cost more than this man makes in a month.
Yeah.
And he just reeks of money.
So, are you trying to do a coercion check then as you stare this guy down?
Ooh. No, I think I would do more of a negotiation check
Ooh.
as he pulls out his wallet.
Yes. Yes. Money.
You are bribing
Money
him. Okay.
speaks.
Money.
Money speaks.
What is your wealth skill first? Let's
My
see if
wealth?
your wealth is high
What
enough.
is the base stat for wealth?
Presence?
Oh, I have 4 presents.
What is your ranks in the wealth
He
skill?
doesn't.
Ranks? I do not currently have any ranks in the wealth skill because I didn't know that was currently a thing.
I talked about it so many times.
You did, and it completely slipped my mind
Oh, should we describe
until
that as
you
bonus
remind me
ranks?
to.
That's
Put
a
it
good
on.
idea, Nathaniel. So, in this setting, we are using something called the wealth skill. So, the wealth optional rule is something that I made up for the setting based on other RPG systems. Because while having a set amount of gold or credits works in a fantasy or space opera setting like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings, where you find lost treasure troves or go on smuggling jobs for gangsters and stuff, and those are your adventures, are the ways you get money. In an urban fantasy setting, people have things called jobs. You have college students who have no money, and you
Which
have
is what we all are right now.
For sake of the fact that I work for the richest faction
Yeah.
in this city.
Okay, we might have to do some work on your character sheet later then.
No.
So just a purpose.
For the sake that I work for the richest faction in the city, can my character start with base 1 skill, 1 rank?
So for reference, your average hobo has 0 ranks in the wealth skill.
So I am currently a very well-dressed homeless man. I'm a ridiculously well-dressed homeless man.
For reference here, I have gone over this rule so many
Yes,
times.
Jonathan.
Yes,
It is very
It's
true.
true.
My fault. Yes, I admit.
Okay.
Boo on me for not paying attention.
Okay, but just for reference, your average college student would have 1 rank. Some would have 0 ranks because some college students are even more poor than others. Rank 2, you're probably lower class, like upper lower class, lower middle class. You own a car, probably. Like if you have 2 ranks in the wealth skill, you almost certainly at least have enough money to own your own car.
Right. Though still probably.
And also probably your own apartment and or a small house. The middle class is typically 3 ranks. If you have 4 ranks, you are rich. If you have 5 ranks, you are dirty, stinking rich.
You're a millionaire, basically.
Billionaire. 4 ranks is millionaire.
Okay.
I don't think you understand how rich is.
No, because I live on like $10 a week.
In fact, a lot of people who are technically in the middle class could be considered millionaires. Like the top of the middle class and the bottom of the upper class are blurred, just like all class lines. But
Okay, I've been thoroughly educated in the wealth skill.
And how to be wealthy.
Would be for sake of actually making this make sense, I just act some of the talents out of my talent pyramid to make room for 5 ranks of wealth.
what?
Wow.
How many talents did you remove?
You gave yourself.
I gave myself additional combat skills. So goodbye.
Just move that to the wealth skill then.
This is usually the roughest session of the whole campaign.
It's fine. It's the first session. It's fine.
Yep. This is the session where we work out the kinks.
Exactly. Also,
Well, I hope to have the kings worked out beforehand.
yeah. Well, it's okay. Can I retcon a specific action? I wanted Cayden to be leaving his pistol in Rian's truck since there's the opportunity.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna leave you for a bit.
Yes,
as we
leave
work
me.
on that.
Rian is not going in unarmed. He nearly died. He doesn't want to near die.
You're gonna
again.
walk into a
They're
nightclub
police.
full of cops?
Okay, never mind. He'll leave both his pistols
Okay.
in the truck.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys go around back and you find a back entrance. The cops have not yet cordoned off this area.
Lucky for us, I guess.
Right as you guys arrive, the door opens and you see a young woman with bright red spiky hair kind of like glancing around as she tries to sneak out the back. She's got like a leather jacket that she's putting on as she gets out.
Does the smell of her seem familiar? Or would you like me to make a perception check for this?
That would be a perception check.
3 and 4 with 2 blue die.
Okay, well, real quick, so everyone knows Rian is using his shawl to cover up his wounds.
Smart.
So he doesn't look like a walking...
Doesn't look like you just walked out of a meat grinder.
Exactly.
A living meat grinder.
Yes.
Do I recognize it? Or was it not good enough for that? Because that's fine. I only asked if it smelled familiar.
With this triumph, yeah, you recognize
Nice.
her smell exactly. You know exactly who this is.
Wow.
He stops and actually raises his head and seems to look exactly at her because he can tell the smell exactly where it is.
Wait, he raises his head to
Like
her?
usually, of course, when he's talking to anybody, his face just faces one direction and doesn't move. And typically his head doesn't really move in any particular direction. Maybe if he's trying to gauge like where the walls are with his clicks. But he's not clicking right now, and he can just pinpoint where this person is.
She's like closes the door behind her and then turns around and sees you guys there, and she freezes.
Well, this is unexpected.
Hound.
I take it you two know each other.
And she runs.
Oh, bugger.
Is Rian gonna run after her?
Is Cayden going to run after her? Say if he's not running, Rian's not running. He's not exactly in the best position to run.
Though as she's running, his voice is gonna be yelling out, "I ain't here for you."
She slows down like right before turning right before the corner. Why should I believe you, Hound?
You don't have any real reason to, but I'm about to walk in this back door to figure out what happened to that poor son. Almost.
Were you about to say what I think you're about to say?
Okay, I'm getting too much in character. I gotta dial it back a little bit. Okay, gotta keep it G.
Keep the language G.
Gotta keep it PG-13, please.
I don't know about PG-13.
A guy's throat was torn out.
Huh?
It's PG-13 for
Here's-
violence alone.
Violence is PG-13.
Keep the
Language is G.
language-
That's my okay.
It's
Fine.
PG-13
Language is G.
No. PG-13, you can still throw an F-bomb in there.
At
You
least
throw
one.
2 F-bombs in there.
Oh, they
Yes.
have 2 now.
I saw Knives Out. They got 2.
Oh,
Everyone
shoot.
should see Knives Out, by the way.
I do want to see it. Yeah.
So the language, we want that to be PG. We want the gore to be PG-13.
Right.
Do we want the
Do
gore
we
to
want
be
that?
PG?
Well, we want to do this campaign, so yes.
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 You know.
Hold on, let me dial it back. So he said, "But I'm about to walk in this door and figure out whatever happened to that poor fella out on the street. You do what you want, as you always have."
Even if you aren't here for me, how do I know you won't just tell Godmother that I'm here?
Because hounds only do what they're asked. And if Rian was paying attention, there's a slight bit of disgust attached to the way which he said hound.
Well. Looks like the dog finally found its bite after all.
He smirks a tiny bit, and his response is, "I've always had my bite. It's just not right to bite my master."
So she turns around and starts walking back. She walks up close to Cayden. If she suddenly moved quickly, would you try to stop her?
This case, no.
She whips something out. You feel pressure right beneath your jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is this?
Rian, you see she pulled out a silver wand
I think
that she now has right under his chin.
Rian would react by drawing his hunting knife and putting it at the side of her neck.
All right, we'll see. So this then is going to be a competitive check here.
What does that mean?
Do it faster.
Whoever rolls better
Of course.
is the one who moves first.
Good thing let's put that in
It's
there.
very dramatic. And I love it.
Secret.
Okay.
There's so much going on here.
Either athletics or coordination.
Athletics.
What's your athletics?
Oh no, is 3 green better than 1 yellow and a green?
Yes, I would say so.
So coordination, which is 3 green.
Coordination?
Yeah. Gosh.
I don't know what I'm knocking for. I'm just knocking.
You're always knocking.
All right.
Who's first or who's faster?
You are just barely faster than her. You both got 2 successes, but you had 1 advantage.
Nice. Wow. Shoot.
All right. So you both move, and her hand isn't able to quite make it up to your throat, but she has her hands in a kind of a weird, ritualistic symbol. Her hand that isn't holding the wand, but it hasn't gone up to your neck by the time your knife is at her neck. So her hand just kind of freezes there.
You just be like,
But you see, like, right between her index and middle finger, there's like a kind of a spark of silver light right there.
oof.
Can my character sense the silver there? Just curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can feel the silver in her wand.
Okay.
Right as the knife gets to her neck, Rian's be like, don't try anything.
She like looks at you and then turns back to Cayden. I just want to let you know that I'm not that little girl anymore. If you cross me, I can do a lot worse than I did then. And then she puts the wand and her hand down.
Rian is also retracting his knife and then sheathing it.
Cayden hasn't moved. And he replies, I've always wanted to let you know, I've never been your enemy.
She kind of smirks at that. It's like, oh, Hound, you've never been important enough to be my enemy.
Cayden just nods. So do you mind telling me what happened out there?
So she put her wand down before, but now she like puts it into like slips it into her pocket. It's longer. You can tell it's longer than her pocket is, but it kind of like seems to vanish into her pocket. Well, I was just working at the bar over there when suddenly there was a scream outside. And then there was the body. I didn't really get much of a chance to see it for myself. I'm not the best at making my way through crowds, but from what I heard, the body is completely drained of blood and had a nice little bit taken out of its throat.
Like Cayden, like...
Rian can
Oh, sorry. You go first.
but Rian's got to turn to Kid and just say, sounds a little similar to what we heard earlier from the other fella.
So the guy that was running away, like, would I have to make a knowledge supernatural to know like what he is if I was to describe him?
Huh? Yes, you would.
Okay, can I just do that now? Then I could have made it earlier, but
What's your knowledge supernatural?
2 and 2.
Can I assist with that in any way? Considering how I actually
I mean, you did see him,
Yeah.
like actually see him, like you broke through his glamour, so you could guess that he's Fae and stuff, you know.
Yep. So 1 and 3, but
So he was a changeling
Okay.
of a. You don't know exactly the sort of fae that he is the child of, but he was a Seelie changeling of some sort.
Okay.
You could tell, like, definitely skilled with glamour, because he could do more than just the normal glamour. He was also able to pull off that unnoticeability charm.
Right.
So he was a Seelie changeling.
Okay. Rian, that fella we had to stop and had a nice chat with, that changeling, what he look like?
yes. He said he had horns.
Horns and very vibrantly green eyes.
Yeah, he had. Let's see, he had horns. His eyes were really bright, vibrant green. He was. What was he wearing?
Like a peace sign, tie-dyed peace sign shirt, right?
And he was also wearing a tie-dyed peace sign shirt, I believe it is.
Yeah, is he a regular here? Directing his question at Joan.
Yeah. Bill's a regular.
He might have seen more than he was actually letting on. I don't know, do you have any way to contact him of some sort?
Look, I'm just the bartender. I can't even count how many idiots have tried giving me their name since I started working here. Sorry, I meant to say number. Giving me their number since I started working here. I don't keep track of them. I throw them away typically.
That gives him a light chuckle, and was gonna say something but decides better of it. Follows up with like, well, I'm gonna go inside and figure some other things out. Welcome to join if you really want, but...
You're gonna need my help unless you plan on breaking and entering.
And he kind of just nods like, That's very fair. Would you mind opening the door for us, please?
Yeah, so she walks over, takes out the keys, and unlocks the back door.
Thank you kindly.
And then opens and like gestures for you to go through.
That's funny as if he could tell that that's what she's doing. It's more for her, I understand. But he still responds with the words, thank you kindly.
All right, yeah. So you enter through the back, through the kitchen. You can see through the windows of the kitchen going out into the bar that there's a bunch of people there, and cops are going around questioning people, kind of sitting people down and taking their statements.
Right.
We're gonna go back to Voltaire for a bit here.
Yes.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Now that he gave many a dirty look at his wallet, and it suddenly filled itself with.
It's like it's one of those magic wallets. It's basically like asking his orders, like, "Come on, man! I know I have more than this," and just come on. Okay, there we go.
Come on
Now.
and
And the cop's just like raising his eyebrow the whole time.
Money.
Disgusting remote baking.
Okay.
It's easy bake.
So he's still standing there looking this dude in the eye, and he just reaches down nonchalantly, shows it's his wallet. Tell me, sir, how long has it been since you have had a bit of a vacation?
Yes.
All right, negotiation check.
Okay, I have 2 rank and 4 presence.
Nice. I
Nice.
like this.
There you
It's
go.
good. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Would flipping a story point change anything?
You got a triumph. Do you want to change that?
Never mind.
All right. He like it's been a long time.
Well, I have heard Paris is very nice this time of year. Why don't you and your family go take a little vacation? And he just hands him this just thick wad of cash.
Are we talking like 100?
Oh, I'm talking like all expenses paid trip to Paris.
He takes the wad and like carefully, and then like very like kind of glances around as he slides it into his pocket.
Now tell me, my dear man, have you seen anything?
What do you want to know?
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah.
I would like to know what exactly you think killed this poor, unfortunate soul that was dropped off in front of this bar.
Some kind of animal, I guess, or that, or some lunatic who likes biting out people's throats. I don't know.
I mean, I have
Like the body, as far as we can tell, the person wasn't killed here, which explains why there isn't blood all over the floor. Whatever happened, the person was killed. Wherever they were killed somewhere far from here. That's where we get the bite mark looking thing, and then later taken here. So either
very interesting.
wild animals got him, and then can't really wild animal. No animal comes this deep into the city. So
No.
either someone found him and then brought him here, or some lunatic decided to like go on a cannibalism spree and then dropped him here.
I mean, I am rather well acquainted with what most people in the city would call lunatics, and even the cannibalistic kind are quite rare.
He's not wrong. That'd be a charm check if it was.
But I think I will do my best to make sure that no interesting cases end up in this part of the town for a while longer after this.
Hey, I'm going on vacation.
You're a good man. You're a good man.
He like tips his hat to you.
Nice.
Excellent.
He's just gonna walk straight into the bar like he owns the place.
He could.
And now he has the requisite ranks and skills to not be an incredibly well-dressed homeless person.
So you walk in, and this like a guy in a suit comes up to you, close-shaved head, but his suit isn't like yours.
No.
And he pulls out a badge. He's a detective.
Private eye.
No, like a detective.
Police detective.
Just a detective.
Sir, I don't know how you got past the boys in blue outside, but you're not allowed to just walk in here.
Well, I figured regarding the state of the body outside, you might be in need of my assistance. What was your name?
For the listeners, he just reached out his hand to shake the hand that has the ring.
Okay, good.
on.
Thank you.
The officer looks at the ring and then offers his hand, shakes it, shakes Voltaire's hand. It's like names.
I have a name.
All right,
It's a very good name.
Very good.
Very manly.
Detective Holmes, what you service?
Detective Jones, sir.
Interesting. Jones. So tell me, what do you know about what happened to that poor man outside?
It's one of the weird ones. Let's just say I'm glad that the people in charge sent you over here.
Yes, I tend to get involved when things when things are weird, as you said. Would I be able to look at the body?
Sure thing. Let me lead you this way.
Thank you.
So yeah, he leads you to where you see some CSIs looking over the immediate area around the body. So you see here, kneels down by the head and pulls out a pen and uses that to.
He just pulls out a very, very nice handkerchief and just holds it over his face.
How bad does it smell?
It smells like a dead person.
It doesn't yet smell like rotting flesh, but
It's still stinky.
well, it's a scientific fact that when people die, they relieve themselves.
Nice.
True.
Thank you. We definitely needed that little bit of, visual
Gotta
storytelling.
have that nice texture, that flavor.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
he looks down
painting
and
of a
goes
word
like, "Oh, for heaven's sake, please cover this man's lower half. The stench is about to knock me out."
I love the rich tapestry of detail we're painting here.
This is great. It's
Delightful.
lovely.
Hey, we're trying to get as literally realistic as possible.
So he uses the pen to move the head to the side a bit, then uses it to point. As you see here, this is not a normal bite wound.
No, it's not.
And if you look, so we're saying that the reason why there's no blood is because it was brought here, which it was brought here from somewhere else. But there's no blood around the wound itself either, even if the person was brought here from somewhere else, unless they were washed beforehand, which we know they weren't. Then
Yes.
based on other parts of the body, then there should be blood around and inside the wound itself. Instead, this person is almost
Dry.
mummified.
Yes, unfortunately, I have seen effects like this before. I'll spare you the details, but please do let us know before you pursue any suspects you may find. And I would appreciate it if you would keep me up to date on any reports that are filed.
You have a number I should call, or should I just send it through the usual channels?
The usual channels will suffice. Oh, and there was a very kind officer outside who was going to need some vacation time.
All right.
Don't worry. He recently came into a rather large sum of money.
I wonder how he did that.
All right, then. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Not that I can think of, aside from allowing me access to the bar. It's been a long day.
Feel free.
Thank you. You're very kind. So he just goes behind the bar and starts pouring himself a drink.
All right. So Elianna sees as this incredibly well-dressed man walks in, talks to a cop, goes back out, then goes back in, and immediately walks to the bar and starts serving himself.
I think she was having a drink when he initially walked in, and she almost spit takes it, she's just in the process of drinking. She was and she puts it down, and she's like, tries to compose herself. And then he walks out, and she's just like, pop out the like compact mirror out her purse. Like, how are we looking? Okay. Circles under the eyes. That's fine. When he goes to get a drink, she rolls up behind him. She puts a hand on the bar and like leans over next to him. What are you having?
Well, I wasn't expecting quite the array of whiskey. It's been a long day. Can I pour you some fingers, Elianna?
That would be delightful. I would be delighted. It's been a long night. Someone got murdered.
I am unfortunately all too familiar with the situation.
So that is when the door behind the bar opens, and Joan walks through, kind of like looks and like, I didn't realize it. We were serving ourselves now.
You must forgive me. It has been an incredibly long day. I traveled all the way from Paris.
I'm glad you haven't left, Joan. I have a tip for you. And she gives her a generous stack of cash.
Joan's eyes light up, but she like tries not to look too eager. The only outward show, she's pretty good at it. The only outward thing that that you see is just like, if you're looking, is just her eyes like widen a bit. All of her other like physical cues are much more normal. It's just like, oh, thank you.
Someone got murdered at your place of work. I figure you've earned a little extra.
That's very considerate of you. Thank you, Ellie.
Question: is Rian and Cayden behind her as this happens, or are we?
Good question, Rian.
Are you? Yeah, are you?
I'm not in control of your feet.
Do we just follow her in all the way?
Cayden won't. If Rian wants to, that's fine.
Nah, I think Rian will also keep it a little bit.
Because keep in mind, again, this place is full of cops. And though we didn't break and enter, we weren't here before.
Yeah.
So,
and also, I'm still pretty banged up.
exactly. So we might remain in the kitchen for a time. If the cops come back,
Okay.
we have plans.
We'll keep our ears open for the time being, though.
So, Joan asked, like, kind of leaning a little, like, semi-conspiratorially towards Elianna. Who's your friend?
Is he still sitting right there?
Yep.
Yes. he's just sitting there with an eyebrow raised, sipping his drink.
Great. Okay.
Joan is aware of the dynamic of this situation.
Great. Love it. Awesome. Elianna, do they have drinks at this point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Elianna takes a sip of her drink. She goes, Joan, this is Voltaire. He's an old friend. Voltaire, this is Joan. She's the bartender.
Pleased to meet you. You do have an impressive array of whiskey. I didn't expect that for such a out of the way establishment.
Out of the way? We're half a minute from the strip.
Exactly.
Elianna smiles and she takes another drink.
You must forgive me, my dear girl. I have garnered a rather eccentric taste for the finer things. I sometimes forget my manners.
Really finer things. Maybe I could mix you something a little stronger than that whiskey then.
From the looks of things that are happening in your establishment, I might have to take a rain check, but I will definitely remember.
All right, just know that at a place like this, we have far more exotic options than whiskey.
I am aware that's part of what scares me.
Joan's like, oh, you want to talk finer things, boy?
You want to fight? You walk into my bar?
Joan's like, I was raised on stronger drinks than your whiskey.
I love it.
Okay, she doesn't do any of that out loud. It's all nonverbal.
Well, after that, Voltaire would look at Elianna and just say, Elianna, my dear, would you happen to know anyone who would be able to tell me about the local vampire population? Specifically, if any of them are getting rather brave.
I would, actually. Would I? I feel like I would.
What is your knowledge supernatural?
My knowledge supernatural is 2 yellow.
Okay, you might know. You can make a check to see if you know.
I would like to. What?
But you also know that Joan is a little more, like, as a bartender, she's a little more on the pulse of the city than you are, including with the supernatural community. Not like a lot, but a little bit.
I want to make the check anyway.
Okay.
Because I want to look like I know things.
Especially in front of Voltaire, right?
Especially in front of Voltaire.
All right. So you know that the only real vampire presence in Vegas is a nightclub in the old part of town, like right off Fremont Street, called Sanguine Desire.
Ooh.
A vampire-themed nightclub ran by a vampire named Stefan.
Nice.
How appropriate.
All right.
Whether or not that is his actual name or just a name that he picked to go with the theme, do not know.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty much all you know about vampires in the city.
All right. Cool. Well, I'm going to say that because I want to look like I know things. There's a nightclub called Sanguine Desire near Fremont Street run by a vampire named Stefan,
Stefan, I think, was what he said.
Well, that's what she says, so so get off my back. You might want to try there.
Sanguine Desires. How
Tasteful, isn't it?
Ugh. Forgive me, vampires have never been my favorite thing to deal with.
Oh, then you love Sanguine Desire. Joan laughs.
Do you have anything you would care to share to the current situation? You seem rather knowledgeable in that chuckling.
Oh, just that was just because if you don't like vampires, then Sanguine Desire is going to be quite a shock.
Ooh, joy.
I have a friend-ish who works there. It's an interesting scene. I'll say that much.
Ah, how would you be able to get me in touch with your friend? I'm currently trying to figure out what exactly happened to the rather crinkly person that was dropped off outside of your establishment.
Wow.
Well, she's working tonight.
Well, then what are we still doing here?
Because I didn't establish it before, I'm going to ask if I can flip a story point to like have a perception check to actively try to listen to this conversation, like through the door. Because
Okay.
I didn't say that that's what he was doing beforehand, so we'd have to spend a story point to do that, I'd say.
Flip it back.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, you are able to make out most of what's being said. You don't make out everything. You make out, actually, not even most. You make out like Sanguine Desire, vampires, and friend.
Okay.
There's too much background noise for you.
Focus in. Got it.
Anyway,
Sorry.
back to what we're doing here. Let's get out. Let's go visit your friend. Besides, as much as I do enjoy talking to the police, they still make me nervous.
Are they going out the back or the front?
There are police in the front. So she like looks back and is like, "So are you two gonna keep hiding back there then, or?"
Well, I wasn't sure if we were invited to this conversation.
Does he say this as he's coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rian's
So it'd be a bit weird for you to like have to shout that through the closed door.
Yeah. Admittedly, yes.
Say Rian's coming in right next to him. Gets a good look at Voltaire and he's like, "Have we met before? You look familiar."
I make it a point of not trying to look too recognizable when I'm out on work.
Joan like looks in top to bottom. Sure you do.
Elianna tries not to laugh.
Uh-huh.
Cayden kind of just like nods because he can just smell the money off of him. He has 5 ranks. It's not hard.
Like I said, as you two walk out, Voltaire would take one look at Rian. Oh my good man, you look like hell.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention it, but not looking the best.
Very tactful, you two are.
Mm. He had a scuffle with hell not that long ago.
Yeah, been a bit of a rough night. Gosh, another accent.
All these accents is throwing him off.
I would say if you two are planning on coming with us, let us at least stitch you up.
Do we want to leave before all these cops wonder why 3 extra people have wandered onto their crime scene?
That's a good idea. I'll take you out the back.
Yes. Thank you,
You
Elianna.
wanna join us on our little
I've
adventure?
got nothing better to do.
Oh, I just love for you already.
Oh, Elianna, my dear, I think we might have some fun before the night's over.
Oh, I hope so. All right.
Sure.
So Joan leads you guys through the back.
Say, are we gonna stitch Rian up? Because he really would not mind that at all.
I have a rank in medicine.
All right.
I
Let's
also-
3.
All right.
Would you like to use my emergency medical kit that I now remember I have?
Yes, I would much rather use yours than mine.
That's fair.
Do you even have one?
Yes, I do. It's just very compact.
Okay.
All right. So you are able to. So you remove some of the bandages and you clean out the still festering wound that have just been left there. So you clean that out.
You probably hear some grunting at that.
Fair.
There's put some alcohol in the wound.
You
that
definitely
stings.
hear
But you're able to do that
Tough it
and
out.
do some simple stitches to get the worst of it closed.
Okay.
And so you heal 3 wounds.
Nice.
And
That critical injury is still going to be around, isn't it?
yep.
Urgh. How does one mention this critical injury? What does it look like? Is it that?
It's the gate. That was the bite in his neck, right?
No, that was the slash.
No, that was the shoulder bite. Yeah. So he got the worst of the bits closed, but you still have a bit of your shoulder out. That's going to take more than just.
And those,
That's going to take.
That's
more
going to take
than-
a hospital and a bit of time.
how much longer until those painkillers wear off too?
Another hour.
Sounds about right.
My good man, you should really visit a hospital.
That's what I said, but he said we should come visit this first. He's driving, so.
Believe me, hospital is going to be the next stop after this little.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm afraid if you don't go to a hospital, there may not be an after this.
The one driving. I think I'll take my own car.
Rian takes a hint and is like, "All right, I'll be off to the hospital then."
I'm just nothing against you.
Right? No. It's
Bleeding from all over and on painkillers. Not the best combination for driving.
No, it's,
Just saying.
it's all right. Gosh dang it! Now I lost the complete accent.
You did.
Dang it!
Very Irish.
You've got him pretending to be French, him pretending to be from the South, me pretending to be a woman.
The female accent is the most difficult to master.
It's not like it is really difficult to for me to keep my voice because it's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, no, I'm not hating.
So-
I'm just making a joke, man.
No, I get you. I'm just no, it's really interesting for me trying to do female voices because it's easier to do something that sounds completely different, like going full on Scottish or something, than it is for me to just change my normal voice to a female version because it's close enough that my voice wants to go back to being normal.
Yes.
The most.
It wants to slide back to normalcy, and just kind of have to pay attention.
Whereas you
Whereas if I'm doing Scottish, my voice,
It's
it's
completely
different enough that it's obvious if I start to slide back into normalcy, so it's easy to catch. But that's the thing, that's why I had issues with my fake German accent, because it wasn't slipping to normalcy, it was slipping into other fake accents.
he adopts every accent he hears and has a hard time controlling
I
them.
love accents, bunch.
Mm.
This
Okay,
is really
so-
difficult.
It is. I'm so sorry.
No, but like I already naturally just lean towards this accent anyway.
Oh, the
and
one
so-
you're using?
No, the one you're using.
Really?
Yes, and so
Just
it's
Southern drawl. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So just a generally southern, just a twang.
A twang.
A
Yeah.
twang. I just already naturally lean towards that. Anyway.
But I think the reason you're succeeding is because you're pulling off what we don't normally get to see from you, which is sultry.
I'm glad I'm.
Which is
I'm
quite
pulling it
different.
off.
Which is quite different from normal Caitlin voice, and definitely not twang.
Normal
so
Caitlin voice
focusing
is
on sultry is
forceful and bright
sultry
and
is
erratic.
anything but that.
Right.
All right.
So it's like, nah, so you all go on ahead, and I will catch up after a quick trip to the hospital. Does anybody know where that is, by the way? I'm not from around here.
Look, I will drive
Yeah.
you.
What kind of phone do you have?
I have a flip phone.
Oh.
He's
Okay.
not driving
Never mind.
himself.
I can drop it to
Hold
you.
on.
I believe Elianna was offering assistance.
He's not driving himself. That's not happening. He's certainly not driving anyone. They're going to ride with me. I called my car earlier. It should be here.
Oh, good.
There's no visible reaction to her pointing out, his blindness.
So, am I driving Fancy Man over here, or do you have a car too?
Well, I mean, I could call a car, but you see, you are so charming. I figure I might want to get to know you a little bit more, and get to know what you know about your friend that we are going to see.
All right, sounds fun.
So Elianna
Charming.
leads Rian and Cayden to the side street, and there is a very, very nice bright red sports car sitting there.
Wow. Rian is so outclassed.
Cayden's gonna make a perception check on Elianna.
Ooh.
Okay.
It isn't as obvious yet. Unless you have 5 ranks, then I'm just like, oh, okay. Yeah, he could smell it.
What are you trying to find out with this?
General information.
Like what?
I don't know. He can detect certain things with age, also by sound. Again, he can kind of gauge certain things based on sound of like earrings or metal or other things. There's not much he can figure out. He's just trying to get like a slight look at her, I guess.
Jonathan, did you read the first page of the detail thing that I sent you?
He's also trying
When?
to see if
A
there's
while
any
ago. I'll
magic
just text it to
attached
you.
as well. I will say that.
If there's magic attached to her, okay.
I don't know. Magic on her? Magic from her? Something magic related.
Magic! Where's the magic?
She smells distinctly of roses, and her hair. Actually, I don't know enough about this. Does bleached hair
Have a smell?
smell different from regular
I'm
hair?
not sure.
Excellent question.
Do you use specific shampoos and stuff to?
Because isn't it kind of dead? Like more so than I guess technically all hair is dead.
Yeah,
But-
like,
Yeah, so it's not like just bleached, like it's also toned. And in order to keep up like tone, you have to like use special hair products to like a special shampoo and
So
conditioner
yeah,
and stuff. So
I guess you'd smell you'd also smell the various products in her hair, and probably could deduce that is not her natural hair color from that. And you do get along with that product and perfume and roses, you get a hint of fairy in there.
Can he tell what kind of fairy? Not the type, but like if he's gauging if it's Seelie or unseelie. That's actually what he's. Can he gauge that?
Definitely Seelie. The smells coming off of her are smells more of life.
The roses. And stuff.
There's no scent of death or winter on
Got it.
her.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. He's still being just led around to this car, and I don't know. Does Rian like actually like physically react in any way to this wonderful sports car?
Does he react? That's a good question. Let me think on that for a second.
Voltaire does. He's walking out behind, and you just hear his voice elevated. Elianna, you have excellent taste as always.
Thank you very much. And something Voltaire would notice is, so Elianna's throwing around a lot more wealth than she used to have. Like, she would not have been able to afford this when you knew her.
That would partially be the motivation behind his comment. He knows what that car is, and he knows exactly how much it costs.
All right, so but you're following Joan to her car, right?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, Rian's reaction is just kind of just gives a neutral look.
Okay.
Joan takes you around the corner to a much less impressive looking car. Hers is like a 2001, maybe 2000. Some common brand.
2002 Honda.
Like Honda
Civic?
Honda Civic.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not ancient. It's not like a rust bucket, but it's also definitely not new. Definitely not fancy.
Looks like it's been through a few things.
It's pretty decently well maintained.
Is it? Okay.
You'd look at it and you'd be like, ooh. Is it too late to go and ride with Elianna?
I thought you'd say something like that.
I mean, I can appreciate a well-kept car, but my girl, take some of the money that Elianna gave you and switch this in, please.
I wish I could, but I have things like rent and electric bills and all kinds of things that I doubt you really worry about much.
Well, you're not wrong, but still. Anyway, we're wasting time. I apologize. Let us go.
All right.
I'm loving this.
So so they get in the car and they drive off to Sanguine Desires. Wow.
Elianna unlocks the car, and she specifically, like, she, gently, touches Cayden's arm and leads him to, she opens the door for him so that he can, get in the car.
Thank you kindly.
Of course. And then she goes around and plugs in the address. Hopefully Rian gets in.
Yeah, he gets in.
Elianna plugs in the address and sits back in the car, pulls itself out onto the street, and heads to the address.
This is an auto-driving
It's a
car.
self-driving car, baby.
Self-driving car.
There it is.
Why not?
She's rich.
Girl's got cash.
Got cash.
And Rian's
And she's environmentally sensitive.
Exactly. This is an
was
electric
good.
car.
That's a good point. It's an important point.
Look,
You know-
I'm in the
you know what
scenic
that
mode.
makes-
I can't be out here.
That's why I'm saying. It's a good point.
You could either do a knowledge supernatural or a streetwise check for this next bit.
Is that each of us?
You guys probably wouldn't know this because this is a local knowledge thing.
Would 1 yellow and 2 green or 2 yellow be better?
1 yellow and 2 green.
All right, we're doing a streetwise then.
And
All right.
you probably have the benefit of being a local, right? This is where you. Okay.
Ooh, triumph.
Yes!
Right.
We're getting triumph and everything but the combat so far. I love
Okay, so you know that when it comes to supernatural injuries or just injuries that you don't want questions about, place to go is the University Medical Center and ask for Dr. Rosa Rodriguez. Dang it, I'm going to totally miss that name. Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
She is known among the supernatural community as basically the doctor to go to when you don't want the doctor to question why you have fang marks in you or why that burn mark is the exact shape of a cross.
Is this the same?
I'd like to see some
Is
of
this
it.
does the I'm curious, is there specifically a doctor for just the regular mortal crime that you take people to see, and also this other doctor for supernatural crime, or are they the same person?
Same person pretty much.
Okay, cool. Elianna hasn't seen Dr. Rodriguez in a while, but we're gonna go see Dr. Rodriguez.
So while you guys go over there, Sanguine Desire is closer. So we go. So Voltaire and Joan have stopped, parked the car a bit away from Sanguine Desire, where you see there's a small lineup outside the club, and there are two very large bouncers outside. There's like a light fog coming out through the door of the club.
I can smell the leather and spikes from here.
Yes.
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, we might as well get this over with.
Yeah, he
Oh,
really doesn't like vampires.
he specifically avoids Italy every time he goes to the The stench of garlic never leaves him.
Yeah, so they head up to the bouncer. I know her actual name, but what's her work name? Quick, give me a vampire-sounding name for a girl.
Katarina.
Katarina.
There it is.
Bloodstone.
I'd say that's very vampiric. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm gonna.
Do you want cheesy vampire or real vampire?
You said vampire sounding.
Angel?
Um,
No, probably not. I can't think of any vampire names because I
don't want to spoil it too much.
Madeline.
Madeline is very good.
Madeline's very good. I like Simone.
Simone is
Catherine?
also very good.
Hera? No.
Okay, we're gonna go with Simone.
Nice.
Okay, Simone.
Okay, so like she walks up to the bouncer and it's like, "Hey, we're here to see Simone. Are you a member here?" "No, but I am on Simone's list. Just look me up." "We don't keep the list up here. You'll have to wait." "Oh, I don't want to keep Simone waiting. Just look. I'm her friend Joan. You can ask her next time you see her, but seriously." This is what happens when your character is a better liar than you are. Look, we're only gonna be in there for 5 minutes tops, maybe. Simone just really needed to really need some of the stuff, okay? Just, you know how it is.
What's her deception?
Joan?
Yeah.
2 ranks, 3 cunning, and she also has sense emotions, which adds an automatic blue die to all charm, deception, and coercion checks. And this guy's a bit of an idiot. So he just kind of looks the two of you over. Just like, "Come on in." "Thank you." Yeah, Joan gives him a wide smile, and so they go. You go in. You walk through like the knee-high almost fog coming from the like covering the floor. There's like black lights everywhere, and you see like in various places this is Vegas. There are stripper poles with men and women in scantily clad in leather. And like they all have like, and you see like all the people working here have like fake fangs. Well, some of them are fake.
Exactly.
And all like they're all really pale. Some of them, if you look closely enough, you can see it's makeup. Others, no makeup is required. There's also like a bunch of like red contact lenses on and stuff. And so Joan leads you through this just mess of.
How does Voltaire feel right now?
Oh, he's incredibly uncomfortable. He looks something akin to a mix between a fish out of water and a bull in a china shop.
Okay.
There's also like really gothic style metal music playing.
Not my type. Probably not his either.
Why is it that music like this always accompanies such places?
Joan kind of leans in to so you can hear her over the music. So her real name is Julie, but they call her Simone for the whole aesthetic, you know.
I am aware.
We should find her. Be able to find her in the back here.
Excellent. Lead the way. You seem to be very well acquainted with this. I'm not going to ask how or why.
So they go back to a area of the bar that's like covered with like black velvet curtains, and there's like another bouncer in front of there. Hey, we're here to see Simone. Like opens the curtain, and so they go into a booth, and
Voltaire is incredibly uncomfortable. He is incredibly uncomfortable with the situation.
What would feel more comfortable than this?
Anything.
And then a dark-skinned, like maybe like Hispanic, maybe Brazilian, comes out, and then she like in the same leather outfits you've seen before, and then she like stops. Oh, you're back. Didn't I tell you not to visit me during work?
I thought you said you two were friends.
We are. She just told me never to visit her during work.
Well, forgive me, I can understand why.
Sorry, Julie. We didn't really have time to wait until your off hours. Well, you've got me for 15 minutes.
Well,
so she like kind of drops, like she's dropped the whole vampire allure facade.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not a real vampire?
No.
Okay.
She just works here. And she just like kind of collapses back against one of the couches and stretches. I was like, it's not always easy working here. All right, what is it? What do you guys need?
Well, there was a very unfortunate man who was dropped off in front of your friend's place of work, who was rather suspiciously drained to the point of death.
So you went to the vampire club to check it out.
I know, as stereotypical as it sounds, yes. We're here at the Vampire Night Club with all of its gothic music and leather and spiked glory. Would you be able to help with any information at all?
All right, so I'm guessing you know the whole shtick then?
He just waves his ring.
Oh,
I'm very familiar with the whole shtick.
Oh, you're one of those. Probably don't want to be flashing that ring around in here. Stefan doesn't like it when your types won't trample all about his turf.
Stefan will deal with whatever we decide to do.
All right. Out of my hands.
It is.
All right. Stefan keeps his people on a pretty tight leash.
Well, it seems that either Stefan has been getting rather brave, or his leash has loosened beyond his control.
Look, the vamps here in the city, the Strigoi, they don't really need to go around munching on unsuspecting victims. That's kind of the reason for this whole place. They've kind of got a lot of willing people here. You know, a bite here, a nibble there. Everyone just thinks the wooziness is because they're drunk. No one's the wiser, no one's hurt, and vampire hunters don't come storming the place.
Well,
they have pretty, worked for a while.
Well, then, like I said, either he's getting very, very brave, or he's got a renegade on his hands. Because from what I saw, the man who was dumped outside your friend's establishment here, he was very much killed by a very hungry something that involved biting necks.
You realize that it's a wide world out there. There's a lot of monsters. A lot of them less pretty than the ones here.
It's a fair point.
Lots of monsters that enjoy draining people of all of their blood and dropping them off in front of fairy establishments.
In front of fairy establishments, she turns to Joan.
Uh-oh.
This guy was dropped in front of the solstice. Yes, yeah, we found it. Someone found him outside. Caused quite a stir.
Well, then I can definitely tell you it wasn't Stefan. Stefan likes how things are. He is not going to try to rock the boat by getting the pixie dust crowd angry.
Nice.
Well, as comforting as that is to hear, maybe Stefan would be interested in the fact that he has a renegade on his hands.
If it really is one of Stefan's people, which I doubt, letting you know, yes, he would want to know about it. I might be able to get you a meeting with Stefan. He also might decide to punish you for stepping in his turf, but I guess it depends on how much he values this information.
Well, punishing me for stepping on his turf would bring the full might of the order down on him and all of his establishments. And I doubt anybody would want anybody who has this ring coming anywhere near that.
I'm just a dancer.
Oh, I know. You, my dear, I have nothing against you. I have nothing against...
I'll carry your message to Stefan. After that...
Yes, after that, wash your hands of it. And then, please, go find somewhere else to work. He takes out a smaller wad of cash, but he takes out a substantial wad of cash and hands it to her. You seem like a very nice girl. You should really find better work.
I'll take that under advisement, Mr.
Voltaire.
Take that under advisement, Mr. Voltaire. And Joan, next time you want to talk, just ask me out for coffee. Don't do it. Just don't interrupt work again. And so she leaves with after that.
Did she take the cash?
Of course.
Obviously.
Why would she not?
No working class individual is going to say no when someone hands them a wad of cash with no strings attached. Going over to the hospital.
To the hospital.
I can't wait
Hospital.
for this.
Man, if
Or to Dr. Rodriguez.
All right, so you get to the hospital, and so you go to the emergency room to get Dr. Rodriguez.
We walk up to the
okay,
desk.
so-
I mean, Elianna's leading the way in
Is
this
there a
case.
desk? I walk up to it.
Yes.
Oh boy.
There's a really annoyed looking lady there, and the ER, like usual, has a bunch of people waiting there, ranging from people who look like they're actually injured to people who you're pretty certain are just there to try to get painkillers.
I'm on real pain here.
There are some people who are like currently high,
Nice.
and
Trying to get sober?
No.
Probably trying to get more high.
yeah.
Here is a result of being high.
It's a mixture of things.
There's an eclectic array of people waiting.
Good word usage.
I love it. Lots of variety.
And so the lady looks up to you and it's like, yes.
Elianna just sort of like puts her hands on the counter and says, "We're here to see Dr. Rodriguez."
She like looks at a thing. All right, I'll let her know.
It's rather urgent, just so you're aware.
She sighs and presses a button. Dr. Rodriguez, there's someone out here, says it's urgent. What name should I give her, honey?
Connors. Ellie Connors.
There's an Ellie Connors here to see you.
I'm loving the Roz.
I think this is my favorite character. I think it's my favorite NPC.
I love every NPC so far.
You forgot to turn in your
Always
paper
watching.
Your stone silence is very reassuring.
So after a bit, just like 5 minutes of waiting, a 30s, like not yet middle-aged, but no longer like college-aged, that region, Hispanic woman shows up in a lab coat and stethoscope and everything. And she looks a little harried, like this is a busy night. Hey, Ellie.
Hi. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. What brings you to my little corner of the world?
We've got an unconventional injury that we need taken care of.
She like glances around and eyes alight on Nathaniel, kind of takes stock. All right, follow me. So she takes them to an unoccupied room. It's not really a room. I guess they've got the
Pulls a
things.
curtain kind of thing.
Unoccupied hospital bed. That's what we call it. That's it.
Sounds good.
Takes him over there, sets him down. It's like, all right, let's see what we got here.
He removes the shawl, just sets it to the side, and
She starts cutting through your bandages because they've all they're kind of
ready to be
Oh, they're grody. They're nasty.
Looks at the shoulder wound especially. Oh, what are you doing messing around with drain demons?
Part of a job. Yeah.
All right, well, looks like someone did a decent job of cleaning this out, but you can't get this. can't get this
Xander
stuff
just
out
did a
with just
little
water.
Just so everyone knows, Zander did a little.
And so you see, it's like gotta get it out of the special cabinet. You see her go over and she opens the cabinet, and instead of usual medical supplies, there's a weird assortment of strange looking herbs and weird labeled bottles with strangely colored fluids and stuff. She grabs one bottle that just has a cross on it. It's like, all right, this one's gonna hurt. That's demon poison you've got in there, and this is holy water, so.
Can't be much worse than what I had to go through already.
All right.
Surprise.
And
As a blood curdle escapes the Rian's lips.
Can we do a check to see how bad it is?
No.
check.
Dang it.
It's a planet. Too green.
Too green. All right. Yeah, you scream. How loudly will be up to you. You could bite on something to quiet yourself. But yeah, she pours that, and the demon poison and the holy water hit, and steam comes out, and that hurts.
He's just gonna grind his teeth.
Does he actually scream or is it just grunts?
What?
Just grunts, or is there an actual scream mixed in there somewhere?
Oh,
There has to be something louder than just a grunt.
There will be actual screaming.
At the first, at least. That
Sounds like somebody stepped on a leprechaun.
that
I'm sorry.
My pot of gold, no!
Along with the steam comes a little bit of black smoke, and then that fades, and your wound feels normal again. Just it feels like you got bitten by something nasty instead of demon poison working its way into you.
Does this take care of the critical injury then?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, well, that's honestly the worst of it. We can. Rest of it, we get some antiseptics, and shouldn't take too long to get you bandaged up. You should be able to walk out of here yourself without too much issue. But I would suggest no more fighting any drain demons or other assorted vicious creatures until after you've healed some more.
Right. I will take that under advisement.
we'll make sure he takes care of himself.
Elianna grimaces and she says, I'm gonna wait out in the lobby if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Elianna
Right,
leaves.
So by this point, the painkillers have worn off.
Alright, so I'm at 7.
You're going to heal all but 2 of those wounds, and the rest you're going to have to heal naturally.
That's fair.
So she cleans all the wounds, she sews up all the wounds, and then puts fresh bandages on them all, and then lets you go because she's got another patient.
He just quickly thanks the doctor.
Glad to help. Just remember,
No fighting. Right.
don't want to see you back here again in worse condition. Adios. And then she goes on to her next patient.
Elianna gives Rosa a wave as she comes out and goes on.
She waves back and is like, glad I could help. Give your father my best next time you see him.
Will do. Thank you so much.
And then she's gone.
Feeling right chipper now?
That would be an understatement of the night.
So you're feeling really chipper.
Oh yeah, he just comes out of there just like, what can I do?
I'm ready to go. Show me where those demons are
He's
at.
got
I'll
adrenaline
pump them
running
where
through
there's
him.
Let's
some
go
shine.
kill some monster.
He's got adrenaline running through him after that. He's ready for some.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
get you to the car.
Okay, so
No.
well, what'd you say?
Said, okay, let's get you to the car.
Right. Elianna, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been quiet the whole ride and the walk and everything. You know, we haven't talked. It's true.
Thank you, Elianna. This is most appreciative. How can I repay you for
Oh,
this?
there's no need. Actually, you could give me your name.
Rian.
Rian. Well, pleasure to meet you. After however long it's been.
Pause.
Come on.
Be really glad she isn't a full fae, because you would have done something so stupid right there. Remember so that was actually very specific wording that I used earlier in the session when the fae dude came and talked to Elianna.
I missed that part.
Fudge, I didn't
What?
even think about that. Boosh. Boof.
You were lucky that you didn't give him your name then. Because he's specific. So the fae dude, the dude with cyan hair and eyes, when he went up to Elianna, he said, "May I have your name?"
Oh.
She said, no, I don't know you. Get out.
And then then she said like something about like, "What do you have in exchange?" And so if she had accepted the drink, then he would have given her the drink in exchange for him having possession of her name.
Yeah, you know that the whole name thing went. The whole
Well, Elianna is apparently paying more attention than you are.
Apparently,
Cayden.
like,
Apparently.
gosh, that interaction
Yeah.
had so many more levels. Like, she put
So
in
much
so many
depth.
more levels than I did.
If the fae says, "May I have your name?" or "Can I have your name?" don't just say your name. And definitely don't say yes.
So Cayden is gonna have a nice talk and chat with Rian about this later.
It's just like,
He understands.
Yeah, we're gonna
this very
review the
well.
room.
Yeah, so things to say in response. If you are okay with being a little rude, you can flat out say no. If you want to be polite, you could say, "I am called this." Like I'm called Rian. I'm known as Rian. Or I guess like my name is Rian would also work because you're still not handing over possession of your name, but that one's still a bit iffy. So it's better to say like I am known as or I am called whenever a fae asks.
Okay,
"May I have
so
your name?"
first of all, that whole name thing went straight over the head since the last time we spoke about it, like 3 months ago. And also, Rian's been by himself for a little, coming up on like on the end of 4 years. So
Okay.
he wouldn't really have much experience of understanding this thing. So this makes sense.
It does.
Narratively.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just saying you're very lucky.
Yes.
You are
That
she is only
very
half.
lucky.
That's
Fair
why Cayden
enough.
and him are gonna have a nice good chat about this later.
Yeah, give Rian a little less.
Yeah,
of a face.
Cayden's got a bit more experience around the fae than you do.
And
Yeah.
Cayden like partially sighs as Rian did this because he knows
What's
that
Elianna's reaction to Rian giving her his name?
she said, like,
Mhm.
pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
She doesn't say anything.
Cool.
This is not her. It's not her responsibility to teach him the rules
Right.
of this. And maybe she
Yeah.
doesn't know that he doesn't know the rules. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't realize that she's.
And I don't even know that she's half Fae in the
It's
first
true.
place.
I don't actually know his knowledge level in any of this.
That makes sense.
I'm still new to the
Okay.
game here, okay?
he's an
All right.
up-and-coming
In
monster.
every
He has lots to learn.
So yeah, Rian just tips his hat towards her and says, "Pleasure to meet you too."
And I didn't catch your name either.
I'm called Cayden.
It's nice to meet you both.
Absolute pleasure, ma'am.
Let's get in the car before you fall over.
She's pointing at me,
Yes.
isn't she?
Cayden wouldn't know. He just guesses.
All right.
Okay.
We go to the car.
You guys heading to Sanguine Desire?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. That's where we know
That's-
where they're going.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go back to Voltaire and Joan.
Oh, joy.
We're learning so much in this first session.
And so, yeah, we're not using an established universe, so we got to do some more
I
building.
love it.
All
This
right.
is where we're literally hitting the ground running.
All right. Yeah. So after about 15 minutes of waiting,
What?
Nice.
like you get the feeling that they're purposefully making us wait.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of vampires. These one you can tell that they are
These are
these are the real ones. They're real Strugoi, to be specific, because there are many types of vampire in this world.
Mhm.
Gosh, she's on my.
I didn't realize we had an Australian.
What they say?
Pick an accent and stick with it.
We got to get the whole spectrum in
Oh,
session one, okay?
Your accent.
Don't do that. It's this weird amalgamation of French and German.
Yeah.
Okay. They lead Joan and Voltaire over to the VIP lounge, where a guy who looks like he maybe 20, barely, looks like he's been out of high school a year or two, but like also in peak physical condition.
Dude's shredded.
He looks like the love interest of every vampire romance novel.
Yes. This is
Wow.
excellent.
He looks like the male love interest of every vampire romance novel.
What would that look like? I've never read or seen.
Pale.
Go watch Twilight.
It's
Uh,
adorable.
He's very pale.
It's-
He's muscular, very attractive. I'm not good at describing how attractive people are.
Not a bad thing.
It's just a light switch.
And his outfit is it's still got the leather, but it's kind of hinging between the leather and the more older type of sexy vampire. It's got it's like a open coat. It's like a black shirt that's open, the buttons are open to show his chest. That he's got tight leather pants.
Of course he does.
So they've always got to have tight leather pants and thick abs.
Check out my bajillion ab muscles.
Okay.
Anyway.
And he's flanked by two more vampires. And he's kind of lounging on a couch. It's like, so, the Order of St. Lucifer comes here. What brings your kind to my domain?
Oh, well, trust me, I wouldn't come here if I had the choice. It seems that there is some suspicious activity regarding some of your kind and their feeding habits. There was a man.
Do you take issue with how we feed in my club? Perhaps if you participated, you'd enjoy it a bit more. From what I can tell, our guests might enjoy it.
Well, as tempting as that is, believe you me, I'm afraid I will have to decline.
I thought you were all about temptation.
Oh, that is the business. But as of right now, I'm trying to figure out who dropped a rather drained corpse in front of a ferry establishment.
Yes, Simone told me about that unfortunate incident, but I have to say, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. You see, me and mine, we have a good thing going here, as you might say.
Oh, I can see it as a rather profitable enterprise on both ends.
In many ways.
Let us just say that those at the Order are concerned at such a brazen act from one who would seem to be from your neck of the woods, as they would say.
I have already sent a message around to my coven. You see, it's hard to keep secrets from one master. And none of my kin here are your culprit. I can promise you that. If some other brand of vampires decided to come into town, then they have not paid to give their proper dues to me as the rightful vampire lord of the city. So you'll have to look outside my flock for your dinner.
Okay. Is there anything at all about him that would suggest that he's lying?
You want to make a perception check?
Besides
Or
everything about him,
I mean,
Seriously, even though it sounded convincing, he did not sound convincing.
he's so
neither of them are very good.
Okay, pause. What were you guys saying?
I said besides everything about him.
I was just saying, like, everything, like, it sounded convincing, but it also did not sound convincing.
He's
You know what I mean?
slimy.
The words themselves sound very convincing. He himself did not sound convincing.
To be fair, though, to Stefan, I think he'd also sound this way if he were ordering a PB&J
I know.
sandwich.
I know, and that's why I love him.
No, I'd like my peanut butter and jelly on wheat bread with no crust.
Sure.
Which one are you making?
Either one's too green.
You're green.
Much
You
like
are
Smuckers.
not prepared to go up against Stefan.
I am very good at what I do, and what I do is throw money around and kill people.
Yeah, if there's one thing Stefan has you beat at, it's social things. All of them. Yeah, you can't, like, you would not be able to tell his lies from his truth at
could
all.
lie, you
It
could
all,
lie.
it all sounds fake to you, but that could easily just be because of his demeanor. As he lounges there with his shirt open to show off his pale eyes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Knowing this, Voltaire would sort of switch gears. I am sure that you are very capable of controlling those under your command. That is not in question. What I would ask of the Lord of the Vampires of this city.
You see him like smile at that, like.
Flattery will let you have
Ugh. No, he feels like he needs to go like wash his mouth after that.
With a full bar of soap.
No, with a full bottle of malt.
That'll get it right down. That'll wash that down real quick.
But yes, what I would ask of you is that should you come across one who would know anything regarding the said unfortunate corpse that was dropped outside of the ferry establishment, that you would drop a message to those in the order that we may ensure that the status quo of the way things aren't disrupted.
Oh, I do not enjoy the status quo as it is, so I will help you. I will see if any unregistered vampires have entered the city of late. If they have, I will send the message through the proper channels.
Excellent. I appreciate you in all of your business that you have.
He like smiles at that.
In all of your business that you have to take time to meet with a representative of the order.
Please do tell your master I said hello, and that he is welcome at my establishment anytime.
I will convey your message. Though I must say I wouldn't expect him very soon.
No, neither would I. I've given him that same offer 20 times now. He hasn't decided to accept it yet, but
To be fair, the man won't even tell me how he cleans his ties.
you know, for people who worship the devil, you're such prudish sorts.
Oh, yeah, that is one way.
You'd think that people who follow the father of sin would be a little more interesting.
Ooh.
Oh, you should see me on my time off. I have a feeling.
Oh, I would enjoy it.
Oh, I have a feeling we both would.
Oh my gosh. So much going on.
I love this. I need to know.
But anyway, I had better get going. I have compatriots that should be showing up here sometime soon.
Enjoy yourself.
You have to know what.
I need to know.
What just happened here?
Is Stefan
What?
does
Right.
Stefan sparkle, or is he just pale and nasty?
I think he probably does sparkle a little, but that's definitely not like natural.
Oh, no. Yeah.
That's definitely because he put glitter on
Yes.
himself.
He like tells his vampire like bodyguards like, "All right, gentlemen."
Spreads out
He
his
drops
arms.
his shirt and there's
Yep.
tubs of glitter.
No. He's subtle with it. He gets just enough glitter that you can only tell when the light hits him.
Ah, so it was like a dash of glitter, you know, like a
No,
dash of
they
salt.
have
It was a
like
dash.
there's a like a skin spray that also has some perfume to it. I'm sure.
Definitely,
Oh,
definitely.
yes.
To cover up the fact that they are actually corpses.
Yeah, they are literally
But they're
animated
alive.
corpses.
Aren't they alive?
Nope.
No.
Strigoi are literal corpses. They are in the process of rotting right now. They just rot incredibly slowly, so it's only recognizable if they're old. Like, if they're younger than 100 years old, they can pass off as just being really, really pale. Once you get older than that, the signs of decay start to show. So if you were to meet an elder Strigoi, like, say, 1,000-year-old one, they would have flesh coming off. Either that, or if they're from a dry environment, then they would be mummified.
Delicious.
Tasty. All right.
So
Yeah, Strigoi are literal corpses.
So okay, what now?
Well, I assume our car arrives as the wonderful Voltaire escapes his nightmare in that place.
Along with Joan.
Yeah, Joan didn't say anything that whole time because she was just like quietly having the time of her life watching that interaction. Cackling on the inside. Bust outside, she was doing a decent job of not showing it. Like, it was showing a little bit, but she was doing a decent job of hiding it. But inside, she was busting up laughing at this.
No, as they walk out, Voltaire just looks at her. It's like, you seem like you enjoyed yourself, possibly a little too much.
It was fun watching you two talk.
I feel like I need a shower. Here, hold on for a second. He takes out a rather expensive-looking bottle of cologne and sprays it. I must relieve that vile stench from my clothes.
Yeah, they try, but yeah, they are still, rotting.
Yes, Strigoi are rather unfortunate creatures.
Well, they seem to enjoy it, so.
Oh, they certainly do enjoy themselves. That's for sure.
Or at least the younger generation do. From what I hear, the older ones are a bit more.
Crispy?
Yeah, that's one way of saying it.
Yes. It seems Elianna and the others have arrived.
Elianna,
Red sports car goes
yeah,
up.
they pull up and Elianna rolls down the window and she looks amused and she asks, "Have a good time?"
Joan chuckles at that. Oh, he did.
Oh, Elianna, my dear, I must find the nearest shower immediately, and these clothes must be burned.
Stefan took quite a liking to him.
I'm sure he did.
He is quite a nauseating individual, but he deemed it in his best interests to help us. I'm magnanimous of him.
So we just wait till we get more word?
Well, I don't know about you, but I could use a shower and your friend looks half dead.
I wouldn't know.
Rian just rolls his eyes and does a deep sigh at that comment.
Internal.
About still looking half dead.
Do you all have places to stay, or?
Well, I'm sure I could find my usual accommodations, unless you have any other suggestions.
I don't think you fit very well where I'm staying, so.
I currently have not established a place of residence. Oh gosh,
I currently have not established where I am staying.
All of them have the same
Every accent.
at the same time, you rapidly transition through like 8 accents.
Like each word is in a different accent.
It was impressive. It was incredibly impressive.
Really?
Yeah.
Nathaniel's potential is so strong.
Focus itself.
But yeah,
So Joan's like, yeah, I don't think you'd really. My apartment's big enough to have anyone else stay.
All right. Let's see. Rian shouldn't drive. So, all right. I'm going to drive Cayden and Rian to Cayden's place.
It's just a motel right now, you know.
All right.
Nothing real special.
Okay, well, I'm going to drive both of you there. And do we all want to get back together and keep solving this little mystery? Because personally, I have nothing better to do.
Well, seems like my job's going to be off the table for the next day or so. So I'm ready for a bit of an adventure.
As long as I get to shower and rid myself of these clothes.
Yeah.
I will.
Sorry, you go. You go.
Mr. Blindman, you seem to have something to say.
No. I wanted you to finish. His only comment is going to be like, actually, I can still smell the vampire past the cologne. So, sorry.
Oh, even the blind man can smell the vampires on me.
I just have a better sense of it. Sorry.
No, Mr. Blindman, I appreciate it. It only convinces me that these clothes must be burned forthwith. I will call myself a car.
right.
So Joan answered my question. Voltaire, you sort of did.
Elianna, my dear, unfortunately, I do not have a choice. It is the reason I am here. The Order summoned me back because they deemed this worthy of special attention.
Oh, I'm not suggesting you do anything else. I'm asking if you want to make a party of it.
I am always one for company, especially one such as charming as yourself.
Excellent. Then I'm going to need everyone's phone numbers.
Joan gives Ellie her phone number.
Rian gives her his number.
I believe you still have mine. I haven't changed.
Perfect.
Cayden says it out loud.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. Elianna plugs it in. All right. Then I guess this is good night, and I'll be sending out everyone's numbers to everyone else in the morning.
All right.
Are we going to have that conversation about the Fae between Cayden and Rian before we end, or is
That will be off screen.
Okay.
Because this is the end of the session.
Nice.
all right.
I am in love with
This
this
is
game.
so much fun.
This is my favorite thing ever.
This is so great.
I was going to have Rian say something about joining in because it could be related to it.
If it was Canadian money, then he could really smell it.
It's
Really?
It is true.
Does it have a distinguished smell to
It
it?
smells like maple syrup.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Not even a joke.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I never knew that.
It's you know how American money is green and made out of paper?
Yeah.
Canadian money is a bunch of colors, is not made out of paper,
Holy heck.
and smells faintly of maple syrup. If you
The tiny smells.
basically a scratch and sniff money.
Nice. I like it. Canada's great.
Yeah, that might smell a little better on the 10.
Mhm.
Interesting.
See, American money is so
Isn't
boring.
it? Actually, it's very
American
intricate
is so
if
cool.
you study like what they do to make sure that you don't counterfeit. Sorry.
Okay, the gun be the exception to the rule.
I mean,
Okay.
American money looks boring, but at the same time, if you like go into the studies on what they do to make sure that no one counterfeits them, it's like super intense. Like they're in,
The counterfeiting measures are ridiculous.
and they're so cool,
Like that's very cool. That's very interesting.
but they're boring.
But it's all
It doesn't smell
It doesn't
like
smell like maple syrup.
Doesn't smell like syrup.
Has it been too
And it's
long?
not waterproof. Canadian money waterproof.
What?
Really?
It
It
is.
is.
Well, because it's not made out of paper.
Oh my gosh.
Korean money is the same actually. As far as I remember, it's not made of
Why
like
don't
real
we
paper.
do that?
It's some kind of paper-esque thing. It's weird.
All right.
It's cool.
Well, as was drained of all his
Da, 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 da.
Do, 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 do.
blood.
All
We're
right,
playing
restart
Batman.
that whole line. Not as something man drained of his blood. Do that.
Pardon?
Do whatever. Say whatever you just said in response again.
Because that'd be cheating. Because we could just look and be like, oh, it's
It
this.
is not
Okay,
in
good.
there.
See,
No.
that's what I was hoping for.
My gut reaction is that it's some kind of unseelie fae something.
Well, that's just racist. Why does it have to be unseelie?
How's it racist? She's not
Sealy, what do you
fairy.
want from me?
To be racist. I should have expected it.
Vegas is a place where the stereotype is both 100% correct and 100% false. It just depends on where in the city you go.
That's so good.
like if you're in this, like, there are suburban neighborhoods that like are completely normal and like no real crime happens and like no crazy stuff, and it's just weird. It's weird in contrast to the other parts of the city that are Sin City. Vegas is a place of opposites, and I love
This
it.
is very good.
All right.
All right. Lovely seeing all of you. Thanks for an incredible first session.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for being awesome, both of you.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
That's
I'm
Oh,
just-
adieu. Oh, he said adieu. That's wonderful. Oh, Voltaire.